morning, good afternoon, good evening, good anything, depending on where you are joining in from. It's an honor to be here. My name is Chioma Otie, and I will be moderating the session today alongside a colleague, Indomitable. And sadly, I think he's facing some network glitches of sorts, and that's why he probably is not on the call yet, but he will join in along the line, so you'd see both our faces at different points. So again, welcome to this real estate virtual conference, and it's something that we've been putting together for a while. So we are hoping that it actually yields as much result as we had initially intended for it to, because we've brought an amazing array of speakers here. You can already see Prince Adetunji, you can see Ma'am Duru Sylvie, and I think I could see Mr. Macrock here as well. So you're welcome. And of course, this particular conference is about real estate. Basically, it's about innovations and technology around this particular industry. And you all would agree with me that whether in Nigeria and even beyond, real estate is a fast evolving industry, and whoever is in that sector has to also be able to keep up with the pace and continuously learn what he or she needs to learn. So I'm not going to say so much. I've introduced myself, and for a bit of ground rules or housekeeping rules, please, if you are not speaking, kindly keep your microphones off so that we do not cause noise and reverberations around here. Again, you're welcome. I do not want to say so much because there's going to be an opening remark by a team member, so I do not want to say so much and leave him with nothing or little to say. This conference is actually themed Building the Future, Innovations, Partnerships, and Policies Shaping Real Estate Today. So whether you already work in the industry or you're an enthusiast or an aspirant, this is somewhere for you to be. And if you've never even thought about it, conversations from here today might elicit an interest for you. So without further ado, I'm just going to say welcome to everybody. Thank you to everybody here at the moment. I see that we have about 23 people, which is quite a good number to start off with. So without further ado, I'm just going to introduce a team member who is going to be giving us a warm opening remark, and then we jump right into the conversation for today, because we are well aware that today is a work day, even though it's the last work day of the week and even of the month. Yeah, so I'm just going to introduce him, and very quickly he'll give a remark and we'll jump right into the conversation fully for today. All right, so I'm going to call on a team member who is by name Engineer Tunde, an amazing person. He's going to give us a very brief opening remark why we are here and just set the ground for the conversation today, and we jump right into the conversation. Thank you very much. I can see you, Engineer Tunde. It's great to have you here. Please give us your opening remark. Welcome us today.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Mark T is my name, and we appreciate you taking the time to be part of this event. The journey to building, it's something that has been in the existence of man from the very beginning. And now, in the face of the country, the only thing we want to do is, aside from building the physical house, is also building network, which is one of the major reasons why we are here. And also, of course, ensuring that we are able to build even into the future, innovating, cut across the board with anything that we do, is also why we're here. While we're here, I urge everyone to listen attentively and follow the lead of our co-hosts, and Madam Choma and Indomitable. And I appreciate you for taking the time to join us and also be available for other possible future programs that we'll have. Thank you very much, and you enjoy your day. Choma, over to you.
All right, I'm so sorry. I had to move locations because I realized that my network was quite poor. So it's good to be back. Thank you very much, Engineer Tunde. Such a great welcome address. So Can you? Thank you. So we're just going to jump right into our activities for today. Like I said, I know that today is Friday and some of you are at work and you don't have the whole day to give to us. So we're just going to jump right into today's conversation. And like I already mentioned, the theme for today's conversation is building the future. Please, what the hell is I'm truly sorry. I just think Nigeria is happening at the moment. My network seems to be fuzzy and I'm feeling to feel like I'm connected. But please let me know if you can hear me. If you can see me and if you can hear me, please can you let me know?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So like I was saying, our theme for today is building the future, innovations, partnerships, and policies shaping real estate today. And of course, that topic is in itself very multifaceted. So we're going to be having conversations around the different angles of this particular topic. And we already have three amazing speakers who work in the space of real estate and are savvy at it and very good at it. So it already speaks to the fact that we'll be having a great conversation today. I think all right. I'm going to be introducing our first speaker, and our first speaker for today is Mr. Emmanuel or Ambassador Emmanuel Macrock. Please let me know if you are on the call because I do not seem to see you here anymore. Please let me know if you are on the call. You can just unmute and speak. Mr. Emmanuel Macrock, are you on this call? Hello, hello. Can every other person hear me, or is it a fault from my end? Because I don't
Yes.
seem to hear him.
I can hear you.
You can hear me, right? So I think he is not on the call, and he was supposed to be our first speaker because we are working with time. But then we do not have so much time to waste around. So if he is not present right now, we would not have much of a choice than to move to the next speaker, who obviously is Ma'am Sylvie Duru. Please, Ma, can you also confirm that you were on the call?
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone.
Good
It's nice
morning,
to be
Ma.
here. Hi.
It's awesome to have you here, and we are excited. We're excited to have you here. I was going to mention that you turn on your video, but then I just realized that you turned it on. So thank you very much for adhering to some of the ground rules. So before I allow you to speak, we have just a very, very concise bio of you. So I'm quickly going to run through it, after which the floor is yours. Okay, so a little about Miss Sylvie Ijoma Duru. She's a real estate investment advisor and a sales and marketing training coach. She helps investors at home and abroad secure genuine properties. She also helps train real estate marketers for new startups. That is a very concise yet very powerful profile of you. But I know that this doesn't do justice to all of what you are and what you do. So when you take up the mic, I would appreciate it if you just give us a little more introduction of yourself and what you do, what you've done over the years, and we can now go into the full conversation for today. The floor is yours, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. And it is real estate I'm in any day, anytime. I am very busy, but when it comes to real estate, I am never busy. Wake me up anytime, any day, 2, 3. Let's discuss real estate. I am there. So I'm happy to be here with amazing, I'm seeing a lot of amazing faces here. I believe here, I'm here to also learn from other people in the industry. And like she said, my name is Duru Ijoma. I reside here in Abuja. I've been in the real estate industry for 4 years now. I have won multiple awards in sales and marketing. in the industry. I have helped train more than 50 to 60 both personal staff and both personal students and staff from various real estate companies across Abuja. So once again, I'm delighted to be amongst you all and to share my knowledge and also learn from you all. Thank you so much, Chioma. You've overhyped me, and at a point, I'm beginning to feel too fly. Like I'm beginning to feel too important. But yeah, let's get down into it.
No, no, no. You are important. We only bring important people on here, and I did not overhype you. I think you are very worthy of all that I have said. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. So, before we jump right into your discussion, because we are going to have a conversation with you around what you do, particularly, which is investments and advisory roles and stuff like that around real estate. I just want you to give us a build up of, or give us a brief of an understanding what you think really the future of real estate is, in keeping with the theme for today's conversation, which is building the future. Building the future, innovations, partnerships, and policies driving real estate today. So I would want to know your thoughts about it. Generally, you can speak about it generally, not only in the context of what you do. What do you really think the future of real estate holds? What policies should be set? What policies already exist? What partnerships should people be looking forward to? And what things do you think generally will shape real estate today moving forward? So I'd like to get your thoughts on that before we go into micro granular details. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I think real estate has come to stay. The earlier we realize that, the better. We are moving so fast. The Nigerian real estate industry is growing so fast. It's moving so fast that if you, as an investor, as a developer, if you're not trying to catch up with the trends and what is happening within the real estate industry, you will be left behind. The last 2 to 3 years, we've seen so much growth, so much changes in terms of the design, in terms of the innovations, even in terms of government policies that have come on board. Some are still yet to go in, some are still yet to come on board. That is constantly changing and evolving the real estate industry. And like I mentioned, the real estate industry is here to stay. It's growing so much. I think there was a news I saw that the real estate have overtaken, was it agriculture or what? And that is a sign for the government to be up and doing in terms of policy making, decision making. Developers should be up and doing in terms of innovations, technologies, implementation of set policies that are coming on board. Investors also should be up and doing in terms of gathering information, market trends, and all that, so that we are up to par with the changing times. We are up to par with the changing, society. The Nigerian economy is growing so fast. And when we call real estate, it's basically housing in quotes. And we all know that it's one of the three major basic necessities of life, housing. In fact, I would say after food, housing should be the most. Housing should be the second, because everybody needs a place to stay. Everybody needs shelter. You want to go out there, hustle, and come back to something comfortable, So the real estate industry is here to stay. It is growing at a very fast pace. Although there are still some challenges that the government, there's still some initiatives, there are programs and policies that the government needs to bring in, because obviously, in as much as it's growing so fast, there are still lots of challenges. We are still a developing nation, and it all boils down to government policies, developers' education, and trends that suits the changing environment. If I've answered that part of your question, please, what other aspects should I talk on?
Okay, yeah, so I think you've answered quite broadly. So I would like us to thank you very much for your response, by the way. And okay, I just wanted to say this, Ambassador Emmanuel Rock, I could hear you earlier say, "Can you hear me?" We could hear you, but we had to move on, sadly, because you were supposed to be the first speaker. Unfortunately, you weren't on the call, so we had to go on. So after her presentation, we would have you. Thank you very much for your patience. All right, back to you, ma'am. So, like I said, you already answered generally. I would like us to speak more, especially because you are someone that works in in this case, I want to say top management, but you work in investment and in advisory roles. And that's to say that you can speak to organizations, real estate firms, you can speak to even buyers, advising them on the best practices to actually align themselves with, to get the best out of every transaction. So what are the challenges that has bedeviled the real estate firm for a while now? What are certain things that you have noticed over time have been a challenge, and how have people been able to surmount them, or how are people still surmounting them to have seamless transactions when transacting with real estate?
Okay, there are so many challenges. Like I said, we are still a developing nation. We are still lacking in terms of policies, implementation, when it comes to the real estate industry. But we are a work in progress. There are so many changes that have been, initiated. This administration, I know of a few that they've initiated one or two policies to help the real estate industries. And I believe a lot will come on board as the industry grows. One of the major challenges is that we have lack of sustainable practices when it comes to the real estate industry. Now, what do I mean by that? When I say sustainable practices, it simply means building and designing houses that are, that reduces waste, saves energy, and also to an extent protects the environment while still being what? Cost effective. You get now these practices, we are beginning to see these practices in big cities like Abuja, Lagos, where people are integrating solar panel water recycling processes, to help reduce the dependency on fuel and, let us say, generator. Now, these are very good practices, but it's not a norm when it comes to like the day-to-day developer, because most of these practices are now being seen in premium properties, like premium projects. It's a problem because we need to encourage more sustainable practice. That is, houses with better designs to resist climate changes, houses with better designs to be able to combat like I said, climate changes. We need better site plan, because most of the site plans are not really equipped to combat drainage, to combat erosion. So like I mentioned, we have to the government needs to start making policies that supports sustainable practices in the real estate industry. Those practices are there, the need for them are growing, but like I said, they are cost effective, because if you want to introduce houses with sustainable practices, like houses that reduce that saves energy, all this waste management, they're always on the high. Most premium properties, that is where you get to find such practices. So I wish they can make it more available and more affordable for day-to-day investors to adopt such practices. Why? The cost of the property does not go too much. You get that is one major challenge, is lack of sustainable practices, if I may say. The other one is we don't have houses. We are not equipped yet to combat the rising change in climate. Flood, and there are warning signs everywhere. But I don't think it's one area where the government is not necessarily paying too much attention. If you are in Nigeria, you can agree with me that early this year there was very heat wave. The heat, it was just not here in Abuja. I think it was across the nation. Your fan, your AC, it was just doing nothing. I had to sleep. I was sleeping on the tiles all day. So they need to start putting policies that encourage, that is in trend with the climate change. Like a few years ago, there was flood in Lokoja, and people lost their houses, their lives, their farmland, and it took months for that area, that affected area, to dry off. Imagine what that would do to the real estate sector in that particular location. The heat waves, every year is increasing. Now the government needs to start looking at heat resistant materials for building, durable materials for building. Even there was flooding in Meduguri a few years ago. So what are the government doing to combat? Because now investors are paying so much attention to flood-prone areas. Most people are avoiding flood-prone areas because they know that in areas like that, there's always very low resale value. There's always very aside from having low resale value, if you want to insure a property in a flood prone area, you have to pay more than the normal area. So these are what is affecting, these are one of the challenges. We are not putting measures in place to combat or to be prepared for the climate change. And climate change is not only a Nigerian thing, it's not only a real estate thing, it's a global thing right now. And most world leaders are paying so much attention, setting so much money aside to be able to stand the test of this changing and unpredictable weather. So one of the challenges we are also facing as an industry is that we don't have these materials in place. We don't have policies in place to combat the rising climate change. That is another aspect or challenge we are facing. Another major one is there is a long process when it comes to land registration, title processing is discouraging for both developers and investors. So I wish there are policies and reforms in place where it makes it easier for developers to register their titles, register their land. Sometimes it takes months and years to even get a building approval. You know, it discourages investors a lot. These are the things that takes the real estate industry 5-10 years behind than other developing cities. So decisions need to start, government need to start putting policies in place that help land acquisition, registration, and all that, you know, to make it easy for developers and investors to get these things done and keep up to the trends of what is happening in the country. You get. Another crucial aspect, I think, is insecurity is a major challenge now. Honestly, people are scared of investing in outskirts, you know, places that are very far from town, places that they feel unsafe. And even the insecurity too is driving foreign investors. You know, if you go and check statistics, you see that most people are withdrawing their, you know, their investments from the country because of insecurity. Now you see most developers have to like call hire private security. If you're going to sites, you see that you have like 2 or 3 security with guns going to the sites with you. You know, they are also paying those security agencies. So it means that there is high cost. At the end of the day, they have to factor all these things into the cost of the property. That is why we are having high cost of properties in Nigeria. Like you can even rent, you can barely afford rent now. Why? And the government, they don't encourage affordable housing. You know, even some developers that want to go into affordable housing, they don't have the backup from the government. So most people don't do affordable housing. So I wish the government can bring in initiatives, although there are some in place now, to help, you know, project more affordable housing, to help developers project more affordable housing. Then they can also implement low development loan and mortgage. We all know that the mortgage system in Nigeria is crazy. In fact, it is just there on paper. There's no practical mortgage system. It's a war. If you've ever done mortgage, which I have, the process is a lot. It doesn't encourage people that the mortgage is meant for. Most times before you go through the cumbersome process and everything, you just feel tired and you back off. So these are more, there are so many other challenges that are affecting the industry, but I think these are crucial. Insecurity is crucial one. Lack of government policies that help land registration and land titles to, you know, to easy land title with easy land registration and titles, and many more. We are not ready for the changing climates. We keep seeing flood, heat wave. The signs are everywhere, but we're not doing anything to prepare ourselves. And it's going to get worse every day because of industrialization is becoming too, industrialization is here, globalization is here. So we need to start, you know, pacing ourselves to be able to prepare ourselves when it comes to climate change. Thank you so much. I hope I did justice to an extent to that topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. You did even beyond justice. And for those people that were not paying attention, it's funny, very needless to say, but you know the saying that all that glitters is not gold. I think it is very much appropriate here because I see how people say, oh, real estate is a gold mine, and once you get into real estate, you just become a billionaire over the night and stuff like that. So there's this unrealistic expectation around being in real estate. So hearing you mention some of these challenges or limitations that are associated with real estate, it is funny. So for those of you that are not paying attention, she mentioned something around lack of sustainable practices, which is also hinged to natural disasters, may I even say heat waves, flooding, and some of the things of that sort. And you talked about the long procedure for procurement of lands and titles. You mentioned insecurity, and that one is actually a very pertinent one because it's not something that is within our power to control, among so many other things. So we are hoping that over time, these things do not appear to be issues again, because we are trying to keep up with the global trends. And at this point, that's where I want us to do a bit of a juxtaposition. What I mean is, we'll bring in Nigeria, the context of Nigeria, and then the global practice, because that is what we are trying to elevate to. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, please.
All right, so I don't know if you have a bit of an idea of what's the global space, because this conversation is not restricted or confined to just real estate in Nigeria. Though we are talking about the future, innovations, partnerships, and policies, and we are trying to keep it to Nigeria because we are focusing on the Nigerian audience. But I also like to get your thoughts about some trends that have preceded Nigeria as it's where this time, that is happening in some other countries, maybe the Western world, the Asian world, wherever, that is not here in Nigeria yet. What are they, if there are any, and how do you think Nigeria is playing catch up? Are we playing our catch up game fast, or are we still far behind trying to get the hem of their garment?
Actually, I won't say we are that bad when it compared to other West African or African nations. We are not there yet, but I think we are trying with more voices, more, conferences like this, more people lending their voice, realtors, developers. Collectively, we can achieve it. And it's not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year thing, because the countries that we are emulating are 50 years ahead of us, 100 years ahead of us, and we are still, quote, a third world country. We are still a developing nation. So far, so good. We are not totally doing bad. Like I said, the real estate industry has evolved and is still evolving. We are beginning to catch up with the day-to-day realities. But when it comes to what the people abroad are doing that we are not doing, there's a lot. Like a lot of their houses now are smart houses, sustainable houses, which is something I've mentioned. Heat resistance, durable. And when it comes to their material, they use durable materials. Not, for instance, in Nigeria, a developer would tell like an engineer to use 1 bag of cement to
Yep.
produce 200 blocks, not minding the consequences of such decision because of the inflation, and they are trying to cut costs. You get, but there they always make sure that they screen the type of material you use. You don't just go up and start building. There must be proper supervision. You have to follow the laws and everything to make sure that whatever you are putting out there is what meets the standard of the place you are. Yeah, we've seen stories of building collapsing, and because there is lack of accountability, there is lack of consequences for actions done. That is why we see that we are still trying to catch up with our counterparts. If there were proper accountability, proper consequences for inaction, you see that we would have most of these things running already. It's not as if we don't have the know-how, we don't know what to do. We know what to do, but because the country we are, and let me not say anyhow country, it's because laws don't strive here. There are no consequences of actions. That's why I see that we are still lacking in these areas. Because if there were proper supervision during construction, sometimes Abuja is trying to an extent, but corruption somehow will still find a way to play a major part in these things. Lack of execution. Most times there are these policies in place. They're already, if you check, most times there are policies in place, but because there is lack of execution and lack of consequences, that's why. Over there, you see there, like I mentioned, durable materials. Now, when it comes to labor, I think we lack mechanized labor, because there, if they want to erect a structure, for instance, they have the machines, the scale, no, they are using proper measurement and everything. But yeah, we still use manual labor. If you want to mix your cement, except few people are beginning to adopt it. Like I have acknowledged that we are evolving. We are beginning to adopt bought smart homes. We're beginning to adopt heat resistant. We're beginning to adopt houses, better houses with better designs that are giving room for more ventilation. But there's so much work to be done. Like I was saying about manual labor, yeah, you see people they're mixing the cement. They are not gauging these things. The foundation, who is gauging it to be sure that they are doing the accurate measurement, the depth, the width, everything is in place. But there, you even dare not do these things without following the actual standard. Because we are trying to cut corners, we are trying to cut costs, we engage in housing, we engage in practices that are not safe sometimes. So, which over there are strict rules and regulations. So one of them is having strict rules and regulation and an accountability or consequences for people who default, which is over there you cannot default. So I think it's one area where we are still lacking so much. We don't have accountability, we don't have consequences for inaction. That's why people can come and build a 3-day, 4-day, when the foundation was not even programmed that way. Where I was staying before, it was a bungalow setting, a 5-unit of bungalow. All of a sudden, because there is space and there is this demand, this increase in inflow of people in Abuja, so there's an increase in demand for housing. The landlord started he wanted to take it up to a 2-day. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but the foundation of that house was built in such a way that it was just built for the initial structure. So they don't factor all these things. He can succeed in doing that, take it to 1 or 2 stories, but he's putting people's lives at risk. Because it all boils down to the foundation, the casting. Was the foundation laid in such a way that you can have elevated buildings? So one of the things where our counterparts are doing that we are so much lacking is lack of consequences when it comes to inaction. You get there, that before you do anything, the government is on your neck, they're coming to supervise, and they don't take nonsense from you. So you are forced to do the right thing. But meanwhile, here in Nigeria, the society encourages us to do anyhow. There's an anyhowness because we know that there are no consequences to action. That is number one. Two, abroad, they are always initiating sustainable practice. Now they're looking at, they don't know we are too dependent on fuel and all that, but there, I don't even think they have generators there. They have system put in place to, save energy. There's a better waste management system there. There are better water recycling system and all that, but we don't have those practices here. Most of the water we consume here, they are not neat. We don't have good water recycling system. We don't have good waste recycling system. And in terms of technology, they are ahead of us too. They have smarter homes, they have smarter ways of execution, just like I mentioned, mechanization. And technology-wise, they are ahead of us. We are still struggling to come up to terms with. You can count the number of houses that are smart houses right now. They have heat resistance, they have good ventilation, and all those things that people over there are already benefiting from. Then they have good government policies. They have good government policy. All this land fraud, all these multiple CFOs, land title, they are very limited there. But yeah, we always keep having problems with land titles, multiple people having one land having 3, 4, 5, 6 documentation. So corruption is one measure. I'm not saying those areas they're not corrupt, but the corruption there is limited because they always put safety first before any other thing. But yeah, we don't even care. We don't care about safety. We don't care. We just want to get the job done and get the money in the bag.
I think one of the things I like about your responses is the honesty with which you say them. You are not sugarcoating anything. And I'll say that the thing about just having policies on paper and poor implementation is simply because we have poor governance around here. Because this is not only a real estate thing, this is something that happens in different industries. Exactly. So that's leading me to the next question that I would love to ask you. And this is still within the orbit of policies and partnerships, because you work in this space and you've worked in certain regards that probably would give you an idea of the question I would want to ask. Do you think that there is very little partnership between governments and the private sector? Do you think that there will be much more growth or progressive growth if there were more partnerships between government? Maybe we have more of public-private partnerships
would actually impact this space more? And then a second question very close to that is, are there realistic policies on ground? Because I know that when it comes to maybe sexual harassment, maybe some of these very critical things, they are embedded in the constitution. But when it comes to real estate, it feels like, oh, it's a space where you can just come and do anything and get away with it, like you said, because there are little to no consequences for actions and inactions. So do you think there is a sufficient amount of policies regulating this space? And then the second part of the question, which is the part where I mentioned what the results would be like if there were more public-private partnerships.
Okay, yes. I would say, one, we have policies on ground, but what we lack majorly is implementation. Although most of these policies need reform because they are backdated 5, 10, 20 years ago, and they are not catching up with the growing population. They're not catching up with the trends. So we need policy reforms. Are they there? Yes. But are they suitable for the times we are in right now? No. When it comes to public-private partnership, we have very limited public-private partnerships. And I wish is one aspect where the government can look into, because there is little encouragement for developers who partner. There's little encouragement for developers to partner with government agencies. I'm telling you, especially on large scale and affordable housing. And that is one way governments can come in. When there is like when they get to encourage developers who want to go into affordable housing and large scale real estate, there's little to no support. But with this current administration, I am not an APC member, but I have to be honest. With this current administration, I know firsthand that there are some policies that they have put in place to help public. One of them is MREF. MREF is a Ministry of Finance partnership with public-private real estate sector. Do you get? It's a project that will be launching soon. And I believe if the corruption does not sweep it away, because there are policies, but most times corruption plays a big part, before it gets to the end users, people will manipulate the system and all that. You see that it becomes one of those things. But if policies like this MREF that is coming on board, where it's like a mortgage program where people can access loan for a longer time, the time duration is more than that of the federal mortgage, you get, for like 20, 30 years loan duration. So it's a fantastic one. But at the end of the day, how far can it go? Can it maintain the initial vision and mission it started with? We all know how that will play out. It might start on a good note, but with time, definitely corruption will play. So there is little support, but I'm happy that they are beginning to look into public-private partnership when it comes to the real estate sector. And also, I wish there are reforms like I've mentioned about, faster land titles and processing. And also there is this low interest. There's poor financing for real estate developers, private real estate developers. There's very poor financing. So I wish they can have structure in place that helps these private real estate developers to access loan or even mortgage on a very minimal interest. The interest rate right now for financing is not really encouraging small businesses, small real estate developers to take such initiatives. So I wish they can have policies in place that encourage private developers to access loans, to access finances from the government with little interest. You get? So hopefully with what is happening, government pay attention to interest loan and financing for. I hope more programs like MREF come on board where they can actually start looking into the private sectors of the real estate industry, because I think the private sector is what is really shaking the real estate industry right now. The public sector is really doing little to nothing. Since last year, this administration came up with their 3,000 renewed hope housing, and nothing has been done. We keep hearing they release funds and all that. So government's public real estate sector, it might take a longer time to get the job done and everything, but with the private sector, we can see how fast private developers are going. So I wish there's more support from the government. I wish governments can make land titles and everything cheap and fast. And I also wish that they can reform the interest loan and mortgage system so that it fits, especially average and upcoming developers. So this will really help them to keep up to pace, bring in, and high cost of material too. High cost of material. Most time people want to do the right thing. People want to use durable materials. People want to use, quality materials. But by the time they factor in cost of production and everything, you really see that the cost of that property is already running in millions. When they have to still add profits, the cost of the land and everything. That is why it's becoming so high. So much is becoming unbearable now to even acquire a property in cities like Abuja and Lagos, because the middle class, a city like Abuja where we have more of civil servants who depend on their monthly. So how else can they afford properties when we have very limited affordable housing around the city? We have little to no financial aid for private developers. So it makes it very hard for people to acquire properties. And that is why you see the property industry now is cost of material too is affecting. It's going higher. Like those days you could get a very good house for 100 million, but now 100 million can just fetch you a 2-bedroom apartment. But we are still a work in progress. Hopefully, with us lending our voices, having conferences like this, speaking out, going for real estate summits, housing shows, asking questions, engaging policymakers. We need to start engaging policymakers. As foot soldiers, we need to start engaging policymakers. Go for association, join association like Freedom, where your voice can be heard, where you can speak up again, speak up concerning the challenges in the real estate industry. With time, we'll get there. It might be slow, but we'll get there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I love the optimism that you still have towards the potential of the real estate space. And I think we all need that to know that we can make progress in the space. Thank you very much, ma'am. I really appreciate your responses so far. And I still have a few more questions for you, but I don't know if you're still going to stick around for a little more. If you can stick around for a little more, I would want to probe more or get your thoughts a little more about the investment advisory part and the sales and marketing part, because that is something that you do. I know you are a real estate investment advisor and a sales and marketing training coach. So we want to talk about the part of real estate with regards to marketing and sales, what people are doing wrong and how to navigate the risks, because there's no adventure or venture in this world that goes without any risk. But would like to have another speaker for a bit. So I would like to know from you, do you promise me to still stick around? Will you stick
No
around
problem.
because I would like
Let's
to
see how it goes, because like you said, today is Friday and we still have other things up our sleeve. But
of course, I'm very well aware of that, and that's why I'm actually pleading, because I would really want everybody to have a bit of an understanding of that part, because that might even be a reason why some people came on this call, to know how to make sales, to know how to market, to know how to navigate risks. So would really want you to stick around, and I really appreciate your responses so far. So now we'll be moving on to the next speaker, who of course we had to move past because he wasn't online or responsive at the time we needed him. And obviously he's back now. Here's Mr. or Ambassador Emmanuel MacRock. I saw him here a while ago, so I'm just going to quickly read his bio, and we'll have his presentation. Thank you very much, sir, for being around. And we know that you have some other engagements for today, so we'll just go on with that fast. Very quickly, a bit about Ambassador Emmanuel MacRock, JP. And I'd like it that when you come online, tell us what JP stands for. He is a trailblazing realtor and real estate visionary. He has won Best Marketer of the Year 2024 NEFT Properties Limited and a second runner-up overall Best Marketer of the Year 2024 Estinpin Group of Companies and a general manager NEFT Properties Limited. He's currently the general manager of NEFT Properties Limited, a rapidly growing real estate company affiliated with the Estinpin Group of Companies in Nigeria. He previously served as the head of department HOD overseeing the ICT and media infrastructure of Valentin Homes and Properties Limited, amongst many others. So from your bio, I see that you have a bit of tech or ICT knowledge as well as media. I see media infrastructure, but I know that this doesn't do justice to all that you are. So I would like you to start off by giving us a bit of an introduction of you, better than is here, before we jump right into this session. Thank you very much now, and the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Choma, and every other person in here. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Emmanuel Macrock. The JP, it's basically Jerusalem pilgrim. I was actually in Jerusalem for the holy exercise, the pilgrimage exercise. So that was where we got the certificate, and that's why we append that to our name. So just like rightly said, the time actually is fast spent, and today too is Friday. I was scheduled to be, or I'll be leaving shortly for the 5th Abuja SME expository organized by Abuja Enterprise Agency holding it. It's already on. I was supposed to meet some key players, so I've been really itching to leave, but I just have to still stay back a little bit. I want to appreciate Madam Duru for the insights and for laying a whole lot of foundations to our discussion this morning. And I'm actually somebody who don't cast much words, but I will endeavor. I'll endeavor. So this morning we're actually talking about building the future, especially when it comes to the real estate world. Unarguably, the real estate industry is broad. Like, yes, some may say it's juicy. Yes, some may say there's a whole lot of opportunities and all that. But just as rightly stated, Madam Duru, I think she's pointed out a whole lot of challenges also being faced by the industry. So it's really not an all-commerce industry if you're not grounded, if you're not knowledgeable, if you're not ready to walk the line and take the risk and all that. And that's why some people come in carelessly, and before you know it, they're off. So, but all the same, it's been an interesting industry, and I'm glad I'm here also to contribute just my little quarter on the said subject matter. So my name is Emmanuel Macrock, and that's just where I want to leave it.
All right. Thank you very much for that. You already stated what we are going to be talking about, or I would rather like to get your thoughts on these general subjects, which is the subject of building the future, innovations, partnerships, and policies shaping real estate today. So I'd like to get your thoughts about this, your perspective about what you think the future of real estate holds. What are policies that you see transforming or revolutionizing the real estate space in the next, let's say, 10 years, both in Nigeria and even globally? Just share your thoughts about that before we dig right into some of the questions that we have prepared for you.
Okay, so the future of real estate in Nigeria, let me use Nigeria and also Abuja, where I reside and operate from. It's quite amazing. It's quite encouraging. Yeah, when you look at the future. For instance, let's take a look at the projections. The real estate sector, the projection itself. The real estate sector is actually projected to hit a whopping $2.61 trillion just before the end of this year. $2.61 trillion just this year alone. So that's to tell you that there's a whole lot within the industry that is playing out. And even we in Nigeria, despite having this quite amazing, this amazing projection, yet there are opportunities within the industry, there are opportunities within the sectors that are still untapped, and also building the future. Real estate as a sector, as an industry, is playing a vital role that affects every single human being, directly and even indirectly. And then when it comes to policies, kudos, yes, we must give it to the current government. I mean, the FCT minister. Let me talk about the Abuja. Let me narrow it down to Abuja. Actually, we should give it to him for the level of work and policies actually is introducing in the system. We are not party, whatever you call it. We are just neutral players, and also we are also basically, most importantly, Nigerians. And so when we see somebody who's doing some certain things, we should also give kudos and some good accolades in that direction. So there are some policies that we believe that are being introduced and also being implemented right now that will also aid in building the future, because it is definitely not going to be something that will happen just overnight. It's going to take a whole lot of process. And so building the future, there are certain aspect that we cannot take away, which is the aspect of careful planning, which is the aspect of walking the talk. Policy implementation is not just about talking without doing, which is the aspect of creative thinking outside of the box, and also creating a level playing environment for not just the developers or not just investors, but also those that want to own properties to easily strive. So building the future is collective. Now, everybody, every single individual has a role to play when it comes to building the future. That's a simple truth. And we must still accept the truth. It is not just a government thing. Building the future requires me and you to play a role. Are you waiting for the government to develop your immediate environment? The government will not come and do that. Nigeria is big, Nigeria is broad. And if we're waiting for the government to do that, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Yes, the government is primarily saddled with the responsibility of creating and also providing some basic amenities, not just the road, the drainages and all that, but also, most importantly, which Madam Duru emphasized on earlier, security. Because without security, even the smart cities we're talking about, it's going to be something else. Without security, the areas we're looking at to develop rapidly may not really happen. Abuja is currently experiencing population boom. Abuja is currently experiencing rapid population increase. The reason being that anyhow you look at it, there are some sort of security within Abuja. Yes, we may have pockets of violence, maybe pockets of robbery, attacks, and all that, kidnapping. But I tell you, anyhow you want to look at it, Abuja is actually, in a way, taking the lead when it comes to security. Of course, that is expected because this is the seat of the president. So investing also in the real estate sector, because I want to say more within that axis. That is where I am. That's where I'm practicing. That's where I'm making some little contributions. So everybody must, one way or the other, invest within the real estate industry, because when you invest, especially on infrastructure, you are not just investing, but you are also investing in a collective future. So every naira invested by either the government, individuals, and what have you, brings us closer to a more vibrant and sustainable community. So you can see that it is not a government business alone. Yes, government, we have an important role to play. We have a very government. Yes, governments must provide the enabling environment. Yes, government must come up with the right policy, and also not just the right policy, and also implement it. But also, it's not just about coming up with this wonderful policy. If you look at what's happening in Nigeria, I don't know if maybe our political kind of structure or practices is actually affecting the whole thing. But you see a situation where this government will come up with a very nice policy, beginning to implement and all that, taking steps to work around it, and all of a sudden their tenure, or maybe they're unable to hold on to power, and then they'll pass away. Maybe they'll be voted out, or their tenure will elapse. And then the next government that will come in will not even look at what has been done before. I think we lack continuity. That's a simple truth. And that is one major factor that is also hindering the rapid. In fact, yes, the industry is booming. Yes, the industry is especially within Abuja, is making a whole lot of sense. But anyhow you look at it, we're still crawling. We're still crawling because there's a whole lot. So you see, okay, take for instance, for those of us that resident here in Abuja, you hear of the popular projected city called Centenary City. Oh, I tell you, during the time of Jonathan, if you see the picture that was painted about that place, it's going to be a whole lot of city on its own, with wonderful buildings, smart houses, whatever, anything you want should be within that new city that was supposed to be developed. Yes, supposed to be. Reason being that up to now, and it's still very much on paper because the whole thing is still crawling. The private partnership and all that was supposed to play a very vital role. But what happened? Immediately, Jonathan left, Buhari came in, nobody talked about it again. Yes, we have the current government, nobody's still talking about it. But if you go on internet and type Centenary City, Abuja, you will see the kind of massive projection, the kind of investment that was projected within that axis. Of course, the land is still there, the whole place, you still see the advert and all that saying Centenary City. So you see that either way, continuity. So imagine if we had kickstarted that project, then how many years now, what would have happened? So I think continuity also from one government to the other. So it's not just about the policy. Yes, okay, take for instance, the current FCT, one of the policies they came up with is that everybody's expected to start developing their allocations at least within the space of 2 years. Can they maintain it? It's not about saying that, because if they are able to walk this talk, what that means is that within the space of 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, or even say, let's say within the space of 10 years, I tell you, Abuja is going to be something else. Abuja is going to develop beyond the imaginations, or even beyond the estimation or projections of some persons. But, well, we're getting there. We're not there yet. But one thing we must understand is that it is a collective effort. It requires me and you, not just the government. Yes, the government, they have a role to play, but it requires me and you to make, conscious efforts when looking at building the future, because there's a whole lot about it. Of course, don't forget that these days, Nigeria is even yet to get to the point of, beginning to take advantage of the opportunities, especially within the global stage and all that. There's something I'm really forcing myself not to go into, which is the metaverse stuff and the virtual real estate opportunities and all that, because it's broad. I'm not too grounded in that.
In a bit, though.
Well, I'm not too grounded in that, but the truth is there's a whole lot happening, unarguably. But let's take a look at Nigeria. Are we even ready for that? Do we have the infrastructure? In fact, look at here. You were just here talking about Nigeria is happening to me when you talk about just network connections, and then here we're talking about taking advantage of things, opportunities that are existing within the spaceless space when it comes to real estate investment. Well, let me just leave it at that. There's a whole lot to it.
Oh, yes, there is. And I absolutely like your thoughts on the general topic. And I think it has set the floor for a great conversation with you. Though you said you're trying to avoid saying anything about the metaverse and virtual real estate. So I'm not going to allow us to go into that much technical part of it. Like I said in your introduction, you have a bit of an understanding of ICT and media infrastructure. You also mentioned that you're into real estate, and which is why you're here. So I want us to pivot now a little more into the part of real estate that is a little more technological. And this is what I mean. Tech is infiltrating almost every space globally. So it is definitely infiltrating the real estate space at the moment. So can you speak to us about certain ways that technology is infiltrating or permeating the real estate space, and what should people really look out for? I hear things about smart houses or smart homes and things like that. And Ma'am Sylvie mentioned that she can count how many smart homes are in Abuja, for instance. That's to say that we do not have a lot of them, if that also is true to say. So can you tell us a little about tech in real estate and the impact that it is making, or the impact that is foreseeable for it to make?
Okay, so thank you so much, Madam Choma. On arguably the success of real estate industry today is, should I say, about 70% as a result of tech, if not 80%, if not 90, if not 80 or so, as a result of tech. That's simple truth. The success being recorded, that's the rapid growth, the rapid boom, the rapid especially return on investment and all that. Why? Is because tech, to an extent, to a very large extent, has played a role and is still playing crucial role in terms of bringing opportunities to the doorstep of those who never knew opportunities like this exist within the industry. I'm going to go a little bit practical. When I came into the industry, I, yes, came in as from the tech background and all that, little tech background and all that. But the truth is, I'm now more into the real estate thing than even the tech thing. That's a simple truth. Yeah. Why? Is because there's a whole lot already happening. Thanks to God and by God's mercies and grace, currently we have about 32 estate sites developing here in the city of Abuja. So you see a whole lot of things on our hands, and then day in, day out, we have, in fact, my other phones have been vibrating with calls, and I had to just leave instruction at the front desk that nobody should come in and all that. I know that my attention is greatly needed and all that. But what I'm trying to say is, sometimes you stay within the comfort of your zone. You take advantage of the online community. You run an ad and all that. You see somebody from far away outside of the country and all that keying into your project. Sometimes they'll just tell you, can you just go and do a video call? Let me just see what's happening there. And you do video call, they'll verify your presence. They'll just do a little some checks on you and all that, just to be sure where they're putting their money. I see people keying into it rapidly. So all that is actually tech. Going forward, there are aspects actually of the whole industry also, which tech, especially within Nigeria. When I mean aspect, I mean the visual space actually, which other people are practicing, all right, which other people are already taking advantage of within Nigeria. Is not like the knowledge is still is not all over. Like people still don't have an idea about it, how to go about it and all that. But arguably there are some opportunities in that direction. So when it comes to tech, of course, tech and real estate, for me, they are like 5 and 6. That's a simple truth, because there's a whole lot of opportunities. There's a whole lot of there's a whole lot of opportunities that the internet space provide, especially when it comes to real estate. People these days buy properties even just by seeing your adverts, just by seeing what you're doing and all that. And all that is actually enabled by tech. But looking at the virtual space, when we talk about virtual space, I'm referring this time around to the virtual real estate, where we have opportunities that exist. But the truth is, within a Nigerian context, I must tell you, yes, this opportunity exists, but only few persons have knowledge about it, and it is only these few persons too that are taking advantage about it. I hope that someday, with where we're going, well, it's going to be it's going to be something that everyone wants to key into. Talking about the smart housing and all that, yes, it's meant to be a good thing, but how many persons can afford it? That's a simple truth. How many persons can afford it? These days, people are very careful with the kind of projects they carry out, especially when you're not sure the next government and all that, or the next thing that will happen. Sometimes we hear of demolitions, we hear of massive estate demolitions and all that. These are a whole lot of finances, people, investment, and all that put into work just to ensure that somebody develop a particular site. But sometimes, maybe based on some certain interests, unforeseen circumstances, even when you are obviously paying your bills and getting everything you need to do right, all of a sudden, maybe you can just see one person will just come out of the blue and tell you that this place is not here, this place is not this, and before you know it, within 48 hours, you're seeing demolitions and all that. So you see that the Nigerian real estate industry is still crawling. Yes, the industry is juicy, but it's still crawling, because there's a whole lot of things that still need to be done. There's a whole lot of people are battling with trust issues also when it comes to coming out all out to invest in this particular industry. In fact, these days there's a kind of money you want to transfer to a particular developer, or you want to buy a particular property. Before you know it, as the money is leaving your account or is hitting the developer's account, the authorities, they'll start doing some investigation. Before you know, your account is flagged and all that, and before you know it, they'll invite the person that paid the money. How did you get this money and all that? So I think all this, and that is actually why some people feel more comfortable actually taking advantage of the virtual space, actually, because, well, maybe government may have some sort of knowledge in that, but I can tell you, we still have people that are smoothly having their way in that regard. So there is a whole lot of role that the tech ICT is playing when it comes to the real estate industry, when it comes to the growth of real estate here in Abuja, the world, even the world at large.
All right, so I think that was absolutely great. And there was something you said earlier that I want to piggyback to. You mentioned something about the Centenary City, and I want to believe it's that one on Airport Road.
Yes.
That one that looks abandoned, though it looks very
Yes.
beautiful. And that speaks volumes about lack of continuity in governance and in implementations, because if that was completed, I'm sure it will impact a lot. And something else you said I found really profound. Exactly. Something you said I found really profound was if we all invest in real estate, I think I took a note, if we invest in real estate, it is as good as investing in our collective future. And I totally agree with that. However, on the flip side, I still feel like if people are not playing with us in this real estate space, because why is a self-contained now about 1.2 million naira, 1 million naira? I don't understand. Why is it that expensive? So I can you still hear me?
Yeah, I think I heard where
All right.
the part where you said, why is a self-contained now about 1.2 million naira? So
yeah, it's about 1 million, 1.2 million naira. That is outrageously expensive. But yeah, so I want us to
the truth is,
okay.
the truth is about that is that the price you're seeing is not coming down. It's not coming down. And the reason is not far-fetched. The reason is not far-fetched. There is Abuja is unarguably one of the fastest. Yes, let's Lagos aside. All right. Yes, Lagos is also enjoying say, but Abuja currently is one of the fastest developing city, and the fastest city. I'm sorry, one of the city with that is enjoying population boom. People are trooping into this town, and then the available housing is not enough to accommodate this, this fast rising population. Those that are relocating, yes, Abuja greener pasture. Those that have been, those that are even afraid to travel back to their places, and then also those that feel that this is where the milk and honey and all that the world to do and what have you. In fact, this is the yes, they are not all these persons, they have their personal reasons, but the truth is that the real estate industry, especially housing, if the government does not critically look into it by sustaining their effort, not just sustaining, but going beyond. Yeah, I kudos to the current administration. I know of the 1,000 housing that are trying to put up. I think that Karasana axis, and they're doing that in several states, of the federation and all that. I tell you, that's not enough. The point is that effort, 1,000, even if it's 2,000 housing, who are able to afford it? The common man on the street, the civil servants that earn 70,000 as minimum wage, or even those that earn less. What about the driver that only some of them earn 50,000 naira and what have you? Will they be able to afford that housing that is being provided by the government? The answer is no, because we all know how these things are going to end up. We all know that, of course, before you know it, somebody through a proxy will buy about 10, 20 units, and then the prices will not come down. In fact, I came to Abuja. When I came to Abuja, I think over 10 years ago, there was this estate along Kado axis. Permit me not to mention the name actually, but along Kado axis. I so much admire the estate because I was actually living close. I was living at Kado actually, so I always take through that part. Fully built, but nobody was occupying it. Nobody was occupying it. And yet we have people that some of them are even homeless, some are even looking for rent, some are even can't even afford housing, but yet we have a whole full-blown estate, fully built, painted, but yet not occupied. Why? Is because it's not far-fetched. Why? Is because is it the civil servant that is earning, let's say civil servant earning even this, even if it's 150,000 naira, let's say they won't give them 200,000. How many years are you going to save for you to be able to afford a house that runs into 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, and all that? So you see that in fact, for me, I think there must be a national plan. There must be a national plan. And how I wish that this national plan would be such a way that successive governments that will come will still stick to it, and not you start up something, another government will come and then will just keep it aside and want to start afresh. It's like taking us back. There must be continuity. Without continuity, all what we're doing within future developing. In fact, if it's something that we're supposed to do in 10 years, I tell you, it may take us close to 50 to 100 years, because we cannot be building and scattering like that. So the reason why you see those houses quite expensive, even to buy, I think 1.2 is cheap actually, except you want to stay within the rural, within those rural axes. In fact, some people will tell you that there are some people that stays in Abuja and some stays in Abuja. So there's Abuja and there's Abuja. Just like I go to Lagos, say there's Lagos and there's like, are you going to Lagos? You're in Lagos, but I say, are you going to Lagos? So there are axes. Well, I know that all fingers are not equal, but yes, we must create to an extent an enabling environment. And actually, that's where my company comes in. Yes, that's where we come in, I must say. Yes, because we've created platforms that we've been able to help over 2,000 people own their houses and even real estate investment, because we come up with land for as low as 2 million naira, some places as low as 800,000 naira, and those estates are very much developing. But interestingly, because Nigerians are dealing with trust issues, some of them are still not believing that they can get a land in Abuja for as low as 800. Not now, though, I mean then. All right. But those that keyed in today, for instance, the one we brought out for 2 million naira today is selling for 13.2 at just Idu axis here, and that was just January, February, just last year. That was around January end of last year. We introduced an estate at Idu axis, and we're telling people buy is 2 million, 2 million. They refuse to buy. Some bought. Today, those that bought are enjoying. The least we have in that estate is 13.2 million. and it's still selling. The other one at the Kuje axis, which was introduced for as low as 800,000 naira, then that was just a year plus. Today, the least there now is about 4 point something. So I think there's still a whole lot of sensitization that still, in fact, we still need to do more. And I think Nigerians too should open up and know that these things are real. Yes, I know we have some bad eggs and all that within the industry that are not really helping, matters. Yes, you see somebody selling a space that does not even exist, somebody selling and flaunting documents and what have you, a whole lot of things. And you see innocent Nigerians keying into this project, and before you know it, their project to face demolition and what story or the other and all stuff like that. But I think we still have genuine developers. We still have people that are very much in the business of ensuring that there is housing for all. And I think the government too, especially here in FCT, are beginning to create an enabling environment. When I mean enabling environment, infrastructure. Yes, the policies are beginning to come up. I hope they can do well with the policy, but there's still more that needs to be done in that axis. So what I said earlier about our collective future, I was actually saying that investing in infrastructure, I mean you don't wait for the government to tell you that you need to keep your environment tidy. You don't need to wait for the government to tell you that you need to build your house this way. You don't need to wait for the government to bring the lighting into your the street light or compound light and all that to your doorstep before you know the right thing to do. And sometimes also you don't wait for the government to build a drainage system in front of you, and also don't wait for the government to tell you not to build within a floodplain area. You don't wait for government to tell you some certain things. It should be a collective thing. So for every penny we all, from our collective point, invest within the real estate industry, what we are doing is that we are investing into infrastructure. We are investing in infrastructure, and investing in infrastructure, which also has to do with development of our community, is also investing in a collective future. So every 1 naira, every penny paid in for land, paid in to own a home, or paid in to construct road or community social responsibility and what have you, it's actually, in fact, they are all geared towards bringing us closer to a more meaningful and sustainable community. Yes, we must see our environment and our society as a community, because of course the world, like they said, there's a very big truth to it, is a global village. It's a global village, and the government in question cannot do everything. So if we want to leave the government to do everything, we may be disappointed, or we may just keep waiting for years to come.
Oh, yes. I didn't know you had come to an end, because you're making a lot of sense, and most of what you said answered some questions I was yet to ask. So we do not have so much questions to go for you. But one thing I want to say is, from your speech, you said a lot that was very empowering, but at the same time, it broke my heart, especially when you said it's not getting any better. And 1.2 million naira for a self-contained is not something much. Then I'm trying to imagine, what then should we expect from smart homes? Because it seems now that the current reality of smart homes in Nigeria is just for the elite. What happens to the common man? What if the common man wants to have a smart house? That means there is no chance for him until the next 40 years or half a century again. Like, all of those things, they are really concerns for me. But then, I mean, it is what it is, right? I will just ask you a question more, or 2 more questions, and then we call it a day, because I know that you have some other engagements yourself for today. My question is, okay, let me give a build up before my question. Sometime last month, we had this conference about finance. It was particularly for financial practitioners. And then one of the challenges or problems that they said they had, especially when it comes to taxes, is multiple taxation. So what they envisage in the future is for a single portal system, where when you pay, everybody can basically see that this person has paid the tax, not this agency coming to say you've not paid, that agency coming to say you've not paid, and then you have to pay different taxes to different agencies. So what is something you think is a challenge currently in the real estate space that you want to be solved especially using technology. And I'm very, very emphatic about technology, because I know that technology cannot be cheated, even though people have still found a way to cheat technology, bad people. But technology cannot be cheated. So what one thing that you think can be solved with technology? Do you want a single portal system as well? Is that something that you think technology can solve in the next maybe 5 years or a decade from now?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Like we've said, and unarguably, technology has a role to play in not just in our everyday life, but also looking at the growth and sustenance of this industry. Technology has is playing, not just has a role, but is already playing a very crucial role. And Nigeria is still developing, yes, and that's why you see every little brainchild being put forward will make a whole lot of impact in terms of what I mean is that every little initiative that is doable, that is embraced by the people, you see it making a whole lot of waves and all that. Now, technology within the industry, yes, we have yes, we have our own ups and downs. There are things that we're really hoping for, but it's not about saying it. It's not even about the government, a particular government starting it, but it's about sustenance. Yes, we're supposed to have a single platform, not just a platform that's like that of Aegis, where you can go and check the availability or validity or authenticity of a particular allocation and all that. But when it comes to development, the different agencies of government, in fact, I don't know which agency of government that is not making money. That's the simple truth. That is not generating income. I don't know. Because the moment you move to sites, the moment you start clearing, you see different interests coming into play. So tell me, do you think that this interest or these agencies and what have you will allow for us to have, let's say, a single portal when it comes to infrastructural development? Well, I really don't see that coming. That's this agency will tell you these are own bill and all stuff like that. And then sometimes we must be true to ourselves. Some of the bills you see are not the actual bill you're paying. You're even paying more than that. Before it gets to that point where they will give you something on paper, you must have paid a whole lot. And that is why sometimes you don't blame these developers when they put for the property and the property is selling for a whole lot of money, millions of naira that even the common man cannot afford. I tell you, for you to see an estate with complete documentation, I tell you, they've spent in fact, a whole lot of money have been spent. Some on paper, some not on paper. So tell me, as a businessman within the industry, do you think that after spending a whole lot of money and you still want to remain in business, a business that the government are not funding you, and you still want to remain in business, do you think you put up the property that cheap? No, you won't. You won't. So I think these are also factors that are affecting the industry. And for me, I think, yes, tech can play a vital role. That is, if we are sincere in it. We have wonderful brains in Nigeria. We have people that can develop something that is, wow, something that is amazing and all that. But it's not about it developing. Will it, the government, if they say, okay, let's go by, okay, look at what's happening with Remita. Okay, I think there's a new platform now, but the previous one, Remita, you go to some offices that ordinarily they should accept payment via these payment channels. They should accept payment via these provided platforms for government, but they'll tell you plainly there that no, you have to bring it cash. In fact, some of them have POS machines. Some of them have they'll tell you bring the money cash or go to that POS person and pay and bring the money cash. These are monies that are now going into these government platforms. The government may have a good intention by introducing the platforms, but the bad eggs within the agencies and all that collect this money, are they allowing the process to strive? Are they allowing the process to work? So I think Nigeria is really happening to us. Nigeria is really happening to us. It's not just it's not just on your network, but it's happening to almost every sector. I tell you, because I personally have witnessed it. Of course, I've been in the industry. Even outside the industry, I've at least have one or two dealings with some agents and all that. I tell you, they will just look at you and say, you're not paying directly. You have to pay through either you bring cash directly or you're paying. If you don't have cash, or you go and pay through POS, and it's not to their account, so that you can't even trace them. So there's a whole lot. The system is something else. That's a simple truth. So all these things are actually not helping. Are not helping the industry, and will not, if it continues that way, will not help our sectors to grow. And that's why I keep saying that it's not just about a government thing, but the mentality of the people. There must be, in fact, I think what do you call it? I think there's an agency that has to do with orientation. Is it the orientation agency? They have a whole lot of role to play. There must be deliberate steps towards changing the mindset of Nigerians, which I know is going to be a whole lot of work. But that doesn't mean that we don't have good people and good developers and also genuine properties and all that. But the billings are just too much. You want to get your building approval, the billing is different. You want to regularize your title, it's taking a whole lot of process, the bottlenecks around it. You want to, in fact, there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot within the industry. And sometimes you say, okay, let me go all out to get this thing done. And maybe just one single mistake you make along the line, if you're not careful, the property you're having with a whole lot of money being put in place, investors' monies and all that, if you're not grounded, if you're not firm enough, one demolition can just make you go off, can just off you, like, and you like start from scratch, or even can just take you off the scene. That's the simple truth. So there's a whole lot that still needs to be done. There's a whole lot. Well, the government is trying, but it's not good enough. That's simple truth. So talking about smart housing, I tell you, yes, developers are still going to come up with wonderful designs, smart housing, encourage advocacy and all that, but the common man, can they afford it? Even the mortgage systems that are in place, even the mortgage system. In fact, while on my way to the office this morning, I received a call from a very senior, friend and a client. When I mean, just to say about the list, like 2 medical personnel, and they're talking about mortgage, and they're also, stressing on the bottlenecks faced and all that. There's a whole lot. So if people at this stage, or people of this exposure and access, cannot really have a smooth ride when it comes to even the available mortgage plans and what have you, is it a common man on the street? Is it the driver? Is it the woman or the man selling within the market space? Or is it the teacher that is teaching? Or is it the civil servant that is working where that can afford smart housing? The truth is, it takes a whole lot. Maintenance, even pay bills, to pay light bills, utility bills these days, especially within Abuja, is crazy. So tell me, talk more of maintaining a smart house or maintaining a smart home. How do you do that? This, like, you're struggling to meet up with the current bills and all that, that is not even in tune with your monthly earning. Then talk more of maintaining a smart home. I tell you, there's a whole lot of things that needs to be done. There's a whole lot of things that needs to be put in place for us to have a rapid growth when it comes to making available smart houses. Yes, some developers are doing that, but very few, because it's not cheap. Actually, we must be very sincere. It's not cheap.
Of course, it's not in any way. I have an idea how much it costs, so I know how expensive it is. You said a lot, and I think Aegis, you mentioned Aegis earlier. I think Aegis is doing a great job. And my problem always falls around development control in some way, because I had an architect friend one time who sometimes we go to his site and then we see some other buildings beside the site he's working on, and it's been X. which means development controllers probably come to check and then they see. So it always makes me wonder, why are these buildings not being monitored? Why does it have to get to a particular height and then you see it being cancelled? And sometimes it can even get demolished, especially with the current minister of the FCC that we have. So many things are happening, really, so many things are happening. And then the question you asked also about what agency is saddled with the responsibility of doing the orientation. I think the National Orientation Agency is saddled with a lot of responsibilities, and I don't know if that also
But where are they? Are they working? Are we hearing them? We're not even seeing them. We don't even know they exist.
We don't know what they do, but I think that there is just so much that is being required of them. I just look forward to a time when, just like Ma'am Sylvie said, there's an MREIT and then there's a mortgage system. I hope that these things actually help, especially to the common man, so that people can get affordable and decent houses, so that people don't sleep on the floor because there is poor housing. Yeah, so we don't want to all just be an impression of pessimism in this conversation. So I would like us to end your session on a much more pleasant ground, so that it doesn't sound like all gloom and doom, because that seems like the impression we're giving. And I would like you to just be very brief with that. I see that Miss Sylvie has a question. Oh, she would have to leave soon. So I'm going to try to be quick about this. So I'd like it if you keep your response succinct. My last question to you is going to be two-pronged, but I still want you to be fast with your response as much as possible. My first question is, or the first part of the question is, if someone is aspiring to get into real estate today, someone is trying to enter real estate today, what would be your advice to them? And the second part of the question is, as much as we talked about the bad part of all the challenges facing real estate, what are some of the things that you're optimistic about or that excites you about real estate, especially for the future? I'm hoping you got my two-pronged questions.
Okay, let me start with the last one, if I get that correctly. What's it's exciting about the future about the real estate, right?
Yes, to you particularly, what excites you particularly about the future of real estate?
Okay, what's exciting me first is the joy that, from my personal point of view and from my personal opinion, the joy that we're able to put some good smiles on people's face. Day in, day out, I keep listening and attending to clients. I've met with a whole lot of clients, those who will tell you, I'm bringing in my gratuity. Do you know what it means for somebody to bring in his gratuity to want to buy a property? And then the person wants to hear from you, your genuine advice on how to go about it. I've attended to market people. I've attended to both. In fact, I've been to many places to make presentations and all that. I've listened to civil servants. I've heard people who will tell you how they keyed into a project and they got their hands burnt. Several experiences and all that. But interestingly, that's not to say that the industry is not exciting, is not interesting. It is. Abuja, for instance, I talk more of Abuja because this is where we have our base. Abuja, for instance, is rapidly developing, especially in terms of infrastructure. The current minister is putting a whole lot of effort to open a whole lot of satellite towns like the Kuje axis, building roads and all that. If you drive around the streets of Abuja, especially at night these days, you see some areas that were not lighting. You now begin to see light. You see some good road infrastructure that are ongoing, some dual carriage lanes and all that. Interestingly, Abuja is, I think, one of the cities with a very good master plan. And to an extent, successive governments have tried to keep to that master plan. So what excites me in the industry is that, first, it is an industry that come rain, come sun, it's going to keep, it's going to keep flourishing aside that, and it's still going to be creating a whole lot of opportunities for people that really want to go into it. on arguably the best and one of the best, let me say one of the best, not just best to stick it there, one of the best and one of the most one of the safest investment anyone should think about is the real estate industry. And for me, that's actually quite interesting. That's actually quite exciting. And the fact that we are in it and we're creating opportunities. We, in fact, with estates scattered all around, and even with the events on now, we are creating a whole lot of opportunities for those that wants to own. In fact, to even step it further, to ensure that we walk our talk. Those who wants to own a property, a land with us, currently we have the lowest for 2 million naira. We still have a land now for 2 million naira. If you have as low as 500,000 and you are interested in owning, we have a very flexible payment plan that gives you the opportunity to still own that property and then spread your payment, not necessarily paying monthly, but taking your time within the space of 6 months to pay off the balance, and your property is there for you to own. So I'm excited at the opportunity to play a role in this direction, to also offer a little quarter in terms of developing, in terms of contributing to the development of our states and Nigeria at large, without waiting for the government to do some certain things for us. So for those that feels that there's a whole lot of bottlenecks within the mortgage scheme and all that, you're free to approach a developer. You're free to come to us. Of course, we can always tell you and bring to you available opportunities on how to key into it. The other question you asked was about, the first one was about
the first question was about what you would say, a word of advice you'd say to somebody that is entering the real estate space today or aspiring to go into the real estate space.
Yeah. So first, it's important to have a conversation, especially for first time owners. If you're coming in for the first time, it's important you don't just go in because you heard others are going in. You don't just key into that project or into that property because of what you heard, but it's important that you have a conversation. Now, whenever I'm opportune to have a conversation with my client or prospect and all that, I try to listen to, I try to reason to them. I try to listen to what they really want. That actually form what I'm going to respond to them, because not everybody actually that wants to build. Some are just buying to develop. And so I'll want to listen to you first. But most importantly, I'll always want to advise you to do your due diligence before you venture in. Yes, it's a very nice industry. Everybody's benefiting from it. Those that wants to benefit from it, and those that have been able to get the right plug, that are benefiting from it. But don't just go in. Do your due diligence. Take advantage of the steps and what have you been, like ages, the platforms and all that being put together for you to make your verifications. Visit the office. If you're far off, just make sure that you've done your due diligence on who you're buying from, the developer you're buying from. So yes, so that you don't, because I'm also very careful what I put out, because I understand, like I mentioned to you, I've seen people telling you that this is my gratuity. I've seen people telling you that this is my whole savings and all that. So in fact, I've even seen somebody who was not too privileged to have gotten a very good response from his client. You can imagine a client going as far as even laying a course on you. You understand? So that's to tell you how pained a client will be if anything, how pained a client will be if anything will go wrong and all that. So we're actually very careful. The most important thing is listening to the person before even bringing up opportunities, and even except if the person is not a first-time buyer, if the person is already into the system, he knows what he or she wants and all that, then of course you can now flow along that route, and in the course of the conversation you can now bring in some good advice. Some people will tell you, where do you think I should key into? Is it Abuja? Is it here? Is it that? Or where in Abuja, and all stuff like that? Yes, that's actually where we come in, because of course we've done little research, little feasibility studies and projections and all that. So we can then come in to let you know what's available and how to go about it.
All right, then. Thank you very much. And I think that that is a very profound and worthwhile word of encouragement to anybody aspiring to get into the real estate space. Doing your research can never be overemphasized. And that's why it's important for us to have conversations like this, because I believe that for every sector, there's a value chain, just the same way there is a value chain in agriculture, there's a logistic, there is the middleman, yeah, different parts. So do I believe that it is in real estate as well. So a lot of these kind of conferences will sensitize people and give people better understanding on what part of the value chain to plug into. Thank you very much again for being here, Ambassador Emmanuel Macroft. We absolutely enjoyed your session.
Yeah, let me end.
However,
Sorry.
A little longer. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just end by saying that in all, it is best to buy into real estate and wait than to wait to buy. It is best to buy now and wait. It's a popular saying, but it has a whole lot of deep insights to it. It's best to buy now and wait, because the prices you're seeing now will never, ever go down. I have benefited from it. All right. And I always encourage people to take advantage when they see a new project, a new site. 2012, I bought a community land for 130,000 naira. Today, the rent from that property is over 2 million naira. Just 2012, 130,000. And today, the rent alone from that property is 2 million naira. So it's best to buy and wait than to wait to buy, because the prices you're seeing now are the cheapest you ever see.
All right, thank you very much. I took note of that, and I hope that every other person on this call took note of that. It's more like buy today and enjoy later than wait until later, and you may not really enjoy again because the price you used to buy will be so much. Thank you very much again, sir. We really appreciate your time here today. And we look forward to having more engagements with you, because we will be having some other personal sessions, because we're trying to do a thing by training more people to understand what goes on in this space. So we want to have more sessions with you moving forward, especially here at our studio. So we want to work more with you. Thank you very much. We look forward to that. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And if you can still stick around, you don't have to run out right now. You can still stick around to hear from other speakers.
I'll switch over to my phone and then I'll join via my mobile phone.
Okay, then that's completely fine. We really appreciate it. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
so to everybody that has been on this call, I know that it's been a long one. Thank you very much for being here. I know that it's not every day that you get to stay on your phone to join in on sessions, and the number has remained consistent over time. I see that Prince Adetunji is back. I'll personally and particularly want to say thank you very much. We truly honor your time, and we just know that these few speakers have already given us an idea that they need to leave. And I can see a message, or I saw a message earlier from Ma'am Sylvie saying she had another appointment by 11 and she needs to get ready. I don't know if she's still on the call, because I had mentioned that I had a question for her. But yeah, I would really love to answer that question. And thank you very much again, Mr. Adetunji. And particularly say thank you because you joined this call really early and you stayed through. I saw you even when you're in your car, you're still here. So it shows how serious you took off, or you're taking us, and we totally appreciate. So if Mamduru, I really just wanted to have Mamduru completely done, but if we can't get her right now, we'll just move on to your session, which we've all been looking forward to, which is going to be the last session. So I'll still like to beg and appreciate your patience.
I'm still here, but I just have a few more minutes. Thank God my
Adetunji. Okay, yes. Mr. Ali, please, can you give me just 5 minutes to just
Yeah,
get into
yeah,
another
yeah.
part of the conversation with her, and then we come to you,
No
and you are
problem. Go
you're
on.
the main person. We saved the best for the last. All right, thank you very much. All right, so back to you, ma'am, Sylvie Durham. I had said that the initial conversation we had was mostly around the very superficial part of real estate, but I'm very much aware that you are a real estate investment advisor, and you are a training coach in terms of sales and marketing. So I want us to talk a little more about that. So I want you to tell me how what you tell your clients, or what role you play for your clients and even other stakeholders to help them navigate risks, because this part is very risky. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm scared of going into real estate. It has a whole lot of risks. So what strategies do you share with them, or what strategies can people take to be able to seamlessly navigate the risk associated with this particular space, especially because of the volatility and economic uncertainties that surround this space?
Sorry, I only have few minutes because my boat driver is almost here, so I can only stay on this
Oh,
call I don't think I have up to 5 minutes.
that's fine.
Should be arriving in 3 minutes per se.
That's
But
completely
the
fine.
investment part of real estate, and what I mostly tell the people advice, because most times people have money but they're confused on what to do. People abroad have money but they want to come home. They want to get something from home, but they are so confused because one thing with growth comes with a lot of shock. The real estate industry is experiencing a lot of growth right now, but it also comes with so many sharks, people who are there to scam you, people who are there to deceive you and all that. And this is where we come in to bridge the gap, to make sure that one, our clients are properly informed, and to advise them on the type of investments they can do. When it comes to real estate, there are different type of investment that people or investors don't explore. There are long term, there are short term. Depending on what the client is looking for, that can inform the kind of advice I give to them. We all know the popular one, land banking. Tell people who are abroad, who are not looking to relocate back home anytime, who are not looking to maybe come back and build and stay. Most of them just want to get a couple of properties and just leave it there. For such a client, first of all, is understanding what your client, like the former speaker said, is always very good to understand your clients. Understand people invest for different reasons. People invest because their friends are investing. People invest because they are looking for something to build and stay. People are buying for different reasons. People are investing for different reasons. So that one should form the basics of the kind of advice you're putting out there for anybody who is approaching you. Oh, look. Like what I always tell people abroad, most times, if they're just looking for something to buy and hold and keep, I always tell them, I preach land banking to them. If they were, most of them be like, okay, I need something, even if I'm investing that can generate money. There are different forms or different ways you can invest in real estate. Land banking, which is the most preached about, the most talked about. There's house flipping, there's short-let, house flipping. I advise people who are looking at short to medium term investments in the real estate industry, because it's not everybody that have to wait for 10 years, 15 years for the land they bought for, let's just say 2 million, 3 million, to get to 30 million, 100 million, as the case may be. Yeah, some people have that time. Most of the priced property we are seeing right now, if they tell you how much they got them for, some people will say, I bought this land for 1 million and I'm selling it for 300 million. That is what comes with real estate. That is what comes with development. But there are some people too, they're looking at short term. I just need something to put my money, within a few years I get back my money. For them, I don't preach land banking. You get, I preach stuff like, okay, why not go into house flipping? Why not go into short-let apartment? Like right now, the short-let apartment is gaining so much attention. There's so much money. Because I feel one concept of real estate, people think is only about buying land, building. That is just a tip of the iceberg. That is just one part of the real estate investment, people can do. There are lots of them. You can even invest in real estate trust funds. You can own a part of property. Like if you go to Piggyverse, there are investments like that where you can own a unit of a property, put in certain money at the end of the year. There are so many other ways you can invite clients. I've asked clients to invest in this thing. But first of all, I understand maybe your budget, if there's a budget aside. Sometimes I help them to form a budget, because most times they don't even know, okay, what and what should I set aside? You give them stuff like, okay, the type of location you're looking at, which type of property are you looking at? Is standalone or terrace, is semi-detached? You know, those things can help form their budget. But when it comes to advice, it's specific to client's interest, it's specific to client's budget, and it's specific to taste. Some people want smart houses, you know, where they have CCTVs and all that. Some people want in very secure environment and all that. So it's I sell what I sell to clients is basically what forms my decision, or the advice I give to clients is basically what they are able to chest out. Their interest, like what are they looking at? Are they looking at something to put in their money and make? No, I always advise house flipping, because it's one aspect of real estate investment that people do not really look at so much, and it can give you so much money in the shortest time. Like maybe you walk around Asokoro, for instance, you see a lot of old structures. Walk around, you see a lot of old structures. Most of them are in the market for very unrealistic prices. You know, as a good investor who is looking at short term, you can, if you have a good negotiation skill, you have a good lawyer, a good realtor who is helping you, you can bid yourself a very good price. Use few million to touch it up and everything, because one thing with those type of investments is the property value is always lower, because the structure is already fading, the structure is already old. The property value is always lower than the market value for that area. You get, so by the time you buy it, and you can use the advantage of this building is old, and you know there's a lot of work to be done, you get it for something relatively cheap. You touch it up, you renovate it, you touch it up, add some modern facilities to it, and you put it back in the market. So you can even be seeing an old structure in Asokoro for 500 million, 600 million. You buy it, touch it up, make it up to standard to suit the modern day type of living. You see that people push it back into the market for 1 billion, 1.5 billion, and they'll buy. That is another very good form of real estate investment, and it is usually short/medium term investment. So like I said, there are different investment strategies you can pitch to a client, but it all depends on the client interest, the client taste, how much they have to invest. And that aside, then the second point, or the second question you have for me, which was, I think, was it the sales and marketing aspects?
Yes, the best practices when it comes to sales and marketing in real estate.
I think sales and marketing is, there is no, I used to say, because I train my students, when I train them, I said there is no particular approach to sales and marketing. You know, try every method, but I always preach work smart, not hard. You know, try every method available to get the job done. But the only thing, while you're trying every method available to get the job done, try smarter methods. Don't spend your time, energy, you get burnout and you don't get results. For instance, I want to also, I also tell them, don't look down. This industry is one industry where you do not look down on anybody. You see, that gates man can be the one to even inform you, oh, a guy is around now, come and talk to them. You know, they can be your key to get into your prospect. So don't underestimate anybody. Most times, clients that have bought from me, two plus, 3 plus, bought houses and pay outright, they come in looking very, very simple. They come in with their almost worn out polo and jean, and they will shock you. But you see those ones that will come in with all the effigy, most times they'll be the one dragging prices with you and all that. So I always say, don't judge investors based on their look. As a marketer, give everybody a level ground. But in as much as you want to give everybody a level ground, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't work smart. You know, by working smart, one, you should define your target audience. By defining your target audience, what informs your target audience is the type of property you're selling. For instance, you're selling a house in, let me use Abuja where I stay, Maitama. You know, we already know those are high brow areas, high income earners that you're looking for, or elites. And the lease properties maybe there is from 600 million, 700 million, as the case may be. And every day you want to market, you're going to like secretary to market. I'm a preacher of don't underestimate anybody, but the truth is that environment does not house the type of audience for your property. So you have to know your target audience, where they are, and how you can meet them as a salesperson. You know, marketing is not rocket science. It's what you do as a cosmetic person, as a fashion designer. It's the same way you market, just only that you are selling high ticket products. That should inform your marketing strategy. For instance, if I'm selling foodstuff, everybody needs it. Little or no convincing. People walk in, they buy gari, they buy rice, because these are day-to-day, things you need at home. It's not the same approach when you're marketing high ticket properties like real estate. No, you need to go all out and about. Like when I started, the industry was not this congested, the competition was not this fierce. But now the competition is crazy. If you want to go low, your competitors can go lower. If you want to enter mud, they are already in the gutter waiting for you. So you need to up your game. You need to constantly search for people who can buy your products. You cannot be selling a product in Asokora and maybe Maitama, and you're going to Maraba market to search for clients. I'm not saying you cannot get them there, but that is you working hard. At the end of the day, you might talk to 100 people, and at the end of the day, you're getting one lead. It's a good thing, but you see that you're wasting time. You're not using your time effectively. So real estate marketing is basically just like every other marketing, because definitely you have to create content, you have to be consistent, you have to understand the market, understand your product. In fact, the first way to making it in this real estate industry as a marketer is understanding your product, understanding the market, understanding that the people you are selling to, they are exposed, they are more lenient, they have the money. So you have to be able to engage them, because I've went to a client before, and first of all, he asked, when I was talking, okay, I want to buy this 600 million property now. How much is it in dollar? Imagine you don't even know dollar rate. I'm not saying you have to carry the rates every day, because it's changing. And you're saying, oh, sir, dollar, I don't even know. You have to come, even if I want to be listening, even if you don't know, act like you know. Even if you don't have everything, because you can't have the whole knowledge, act like you know. Don't fidget and say, hey. And the man was like, why should I buy properties? Why should I buy this when I'm not even sure there might be problems in the future? Why can't I just buy gold and keep it safe? That is why you should learn beyond the market, because you say you are an investment advisor, you're a marketer in the field, so you should act like a professional. You should be able to tell the client why you think investing is really in real estate. Most times they know that the real estate is like one of the best, because your gold can be stolen and everything, but they want to take your knowledge. Okay, why should I buy real estate? Why not mutual funds? Why not bond? I'm not saying know everything, but you have to bring analysis, you have to bring comparison, you have to position yourself as someone, as a professional, someone in authority, to be able to get the job done, because most times they will intimidate you. These people will want to test your knowledge, they want to know whether you know what you're saying, and you're telling them, why should I buy gold instead of property? And you're looking at them. It means that you're not doing your job very well, because if you're doing your job, expect the unexpected. Always know that the people you're marketing to, they are more knowledgeable. Trust me. They have the money. They are more lenient. They know, most of them, they understand the game. So they want to know whether you understand the game. So you have to always equip yourself with the right information, the trends, and so many other things. Or they're talking about AMAC and FCDA. You don't even understand what that means, and you say you're a marketer. So as upcoming marketers or people who are already in the industry, start familiarizing yourself with the industry terms. Like you can't be a realtor, you don't know what is closing. Someone will say, okay, where can I go and run search? You don't know. So by knowing your onion, knowing your product effectively, because you cannot sell what you don't know. So it's not rocket science to sell real estate. It's like, because every other industry, if I'm doing skincare now, I still have to show up every day. I still have to post. I still have to do content. Everybody's online is the new line now. I used to say everybody's online. Even people who have gained so much visibility, they are still struggling. They're still trying to outsmart us in the game. Not to talk of you that is still starting. So you have to be intentional. It's not easy, but it's rewarding. Marketing is not easy at all, especially now that the competition is so much. But one thing I can tell you about real estate marketing is that if it is rewarding, I have never seen anybody that have given their time, dedication, they are consistent in this industry for 2 years, that you cannot see a significant change, both in their finances, in their living, in their day-to-day lives and everything. It's rewarding. You must see changes as long as you're committed, you're not giving up. So it's not rocket science, my dear. It's not rocket science. And now there are tools like that, technological tools now, AI and all that can even help you, understand the industry better, read, research, read. That can even help you plan your content and everything. The only two factors you need is the right information and consistency. When you have the right information, how do you present it? How do you implement it? The right information is, who are my target audience? There are different target audience for different levels of investment. I'm telling you, if you're selling land, you have a different target audience from people who are selling buildings. People who are buying lands cannot afford building, but you should understand the market. You should understand that for each property, there is a certain target audience. Where can I meet them? If I meet them, am I prepared enough to sell myself and sell my product to them? Am I prepared to handle any question that come? Because most time when people are served in the real estate industry, but the comment will be coming, the question will be coming from a different industry, like from a different, because if you say buy properties and somebody is telling me buy bonds or mutual fund, you should be able to convince me why I should leave buying gold or investing in mutual funds to buying properties. Sometimes they even know that investing in real estate is the ultimate right now because it's fixed and it's something that, it cannot depreciate. You can, except when done well, there's no losses in real estate when done well. It's majorly 99% of the time profits. That's just it. The marketing is, then you can follow people in the industry, people who are ahead of you, people you're aspiring to be, see what they're doing and implement. So it's literally not rocket science. I always tell people, start from your internal environment. There you go. Because most people that train say, I don't know anybody, I say, you know someone. You know people in your church. That is your internal environment. You have brothers that have brothers. When I started the industry, the first thing I was told was, if I have blocked anybody, go and unblock. I used to start chatting everybody in my contacts, whether they're in Abuja, whether they're in Sokoto, tell them what I do. I say, please tell a friend to tell a friend. I know you cannot afford it right now, but you never can tell. Maybe you. So it's just starting with what you have, and staying consistent to it. That is it basically. But it's not an easy ground, actually. Marketing is not easy. I won't say it's easy, but nothing is easy. There is no way to make money that is easy, actually. Trust me, crypto is not easy. Nothing is easy. Running a business is not easy, but one thing is for sure, if you're consistent, it's rewarding. Real estate is rewarding.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Nothing is actually, everything deserves some amount of work. Nothing is easy or anything worthwhile. Thank you so much. I think it's a good place to say that you left the best for this session because you made a lot of sense the first time you came on here. But what you said right now hits me more, and I know that to every other person that's probably aspiring to get into real estate, this latter part of the conversation or this set of questions you just responded to hit home so hard. For me, I think that you said something that was very, very worthwhile. You see that thing about house flipping you talked about? I've been hearing it. And can I even say that I didn't know that was the actual name or terminology for it, house flipping. I just know you go and buy an old house, you rebuild it and sell it for a bigger amount and stuff like that. And you talked about short letting, which is also impactful or great. This is like another area that people should be looking into. It's something that goes on already, but it is something that can actually be utilized even more. You said a lot. And you talked about self-confidence. I was taking notes. Hope you guys have been taking notes because I've been learning. This is like going to school in one day. So I've been learning a lot. Talk about self-confidence, which is very important. And I think that anybody that's going into marketing should at least have a sense of self-confidence and a persuasion personality where you can persuade. And you have to have knowledge because you talked about knowledge, being able to convince the person otherwise why he or she should invest in real estate as opposed to buying gold and stuff like that. And then you talked about having the right information and consistency and following the right people. So these are very, very important things that you said. Very important things that you said. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. I know you said you had already booked a ride and your ride would be here soon. And so I would have asked you the same question I asked Mr. Mark Rock about what excites you the most about the future or what's your projection for the future of real estate in the next 5 to 10 years will be looking like. But except you don't mind the responding though. You want to say
Hi,
something?
I honestly don't want to run late for my appointment. Like, honestly, I never knew I would
Yeah,
stay this long. But we can always have this discussion. We can always have this discussion. There's
definitely.
also so this should be. I appreciate this. This should be something we do upfront so that we can share insight and project the future of real estate better. Sorry, I
Yeah.
cannot stay more than this. Sorry,
I
I would
mean,
have
I
loved to
can't go
hear the
hold you
thoughts.
back.
I would have
I
loved to
can't
hear
hold
the
you back.
third
I've gotten
speaker.
the best out of
I
you.
believe there is a lot he has to say that I can learn. I learned a lot from the second speaker. There's a lot of things that, oh, yeah, this is it. So I would have loved to hear the third speaker speak. And unfortunately, I have to run because I can't afford to be late. Time management is very key. And your client should be able to trust that if you have an appointment with them, you should keep to your words. Nobody has time to be waiting for anybody right now. So I'm so sorry I have to
Obviously,
go. But
no problem.
let's see, I suppose. Please, when you have stuff like this, don't hesitate to, invite me if I'm chance. Why not? This is just the starting for us. So sorry, everybody. Thank you for joining, and see you all next time. So sorry, I have to go now.
Thank you very much. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to future engagement with you. Like I said to Mr. Macropas, we'll be having like master classes that will be taking place at our office and even some virtually. And would like you to actually be on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, give some cheers to these amazing presentations we've had so far. So we look forward to working with you in the future. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And if you can just wear your earbuds and still get a bit from things added to this session because
Okay,
I know it's going to be a great one. Yes, so would
no
appreciate that
problem.
as well. Thank you so much. So much love to you, and I hope that you have a great day ahead.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes,
okay, I
thank you
think I'll
so
still
much.
go online, but I'll just have to mute myself because I
That's
wouldn't want to.
completely fine.
Okay, that's okay.
That's
Thank you so much.
completely
Thank
fine.
you, everyone.
Thank you
No,
so much. We truly
you're welcome.
appreciate your time and knowledge. Yes,
No problem.
yes. Oh my goodness, this love is giving. All of this love for Miss Sylvia. How about me? You guys are not giving me any form of love. Prince Adetunji, it's finally your time, and we're so excited. I know I've said this over and over again, but we truly appreciate the fact that you were punctual. We appreciate your cheerful correspondence because I think one of the correspondence we enjoyed the most was your feedback, your responses, and the way you responded gave us hope to have a conversation with you. And very needless to say, I want to just say that I would advise that after this call, please change your Google profile picture because you look so good in person, but that picture is not given. Let me use the Gen Z language. That picture is not given. So if you don't mind, please
That
change it so
was
that we see
9
you
years ago.
fine. That was 9 years ago. So this is almost a decade after. Please change it and give us this
Wow.
look. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to
Yeah.
have you here. And I've been looking forward to your session because I think it is going to be like the one that's going to crown every other conversation that we've had so far. And before I jump right into it, I'll quickly want to read your bio. After which, I'll still love it that you give us your intro, the intro that is not here, the one that you want us to know, a little more about you that you'd want us to know, because the one here is very great. So I'll just quickly read it. And Prince Adetunji David Anifalaje is the MD CEO of TDK Homes, an independent marketing firm for a real estate company here in the city of Abuja. And that talks more about your professional profile, if I may even say. So we'd like to know a little more about you, your endeavors in the past, and then we jump right into the conversation. So, Prince, the floor is yours. But I want them to cheer you on. We've not had virtual chairs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know your virtual chairs are not busy. Please
Thank you so
make
much.
some
All
love
the
for
people
him and let's
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Standing
Good
on all,
morning.
or should I say, sitting on all existing protocol, giving kudos to Mrs. Duro and also Ambassador Emmanuel, who really spoke a lot. And even if I miss, I don't think I miss up to 5 minutes from what they both said because I've been online. In fact, I also went out to do something and I was still following up. You said you saw me in the car. I was trying to block it so you wouldn't see. So I just had to do that. Okay, my name is Prince Adetunji David Anifalaje. I'm from Ocean State. A married man to a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter here in the city of Abuja. I'm the MD CEO of TDK Homes, popularly called TDK the Realtor. Also the MD CEO of TDK Technologies. We're into partial ICT for home security, car tracking, and also the largest fleet in West Africa under boats. And also the MD CEO of TDK Cleaners and TDK Car Wash. So that's for now. And don't not boy because I'm gonna be very, very prompt because I must be off air by 12. You're gonna permit me and then we have to be very, very, very fast. So that's all for now.
Okay. All right, we're going to try to make it as quick as possible. Thank you very much. And I do know who this person is. Lowland Garden Simon Shinlat. Please, can you consistently remain on mute? I've noticed that you've been unmuting for a bit. And again, I have another request to you, Mr. Prince. I don't know if it's your headphone or your speaker, but your voice sounds a bit fuzzy and muffled. I don't know if it's something I am experiencing alone, but I couldn't hear you very clearly. So if it's possible, yes. I don't know, your voice wasn't sounding so clear. I didn't get the best out of your introduction. I don't know what the problem is, but I do not
Let
want
me,
to take too much of your time since you said yes. Can you say
I don't think
something? Let
it,
me know if it's better.
what about now? Is it better now?
Okay, it sounds a little better as compared to before. And it's not like I couldn't hear you completely, but it was a bit muffled. At some point, I couldn't get or pick out from what you were saying. So I don't know if it's something you
Should I
can
should
work
I
on
should I
quickly.
start again? Should I say it again?
I think it's still a bit muffled. I can't personally hear you well. I don't know if it's
Okay,
from
you know what I'm
me.
going to do? Let me disconnect this headphone. Okay.
Okay, I think we should just give that a try. Just disconnect and okay, it's out of the call. So to our amazing participants, I really appreciate everybody that made it to this call. And sadly, because today is Friday and it's a work day, most of our speakers, you've heard for yourself, most of our speakers have to run for one engagement or the other because, of course, they are busy people. They're trying to make an end. They are trying to earn a living. Okay, you're back. So
Yeah, how
please, we will
about
not be able
now?
to take questions. Probably, we might not be able to take questions today, but please try to be around for tomorrow's session. I think that one will be a little more elaborate and there'll be opportunities for questions and answers. I think I can hear you better now,
Okay.
Prince
It's,
Adetunji. Great. And I want to
uh,
give every other person. If you can hear him very well, please give a thumbs up. If you can hear him clearly, give a thumbs up. All right. So, all right. Thank you very much. That already answers it. I would want you again to start just like you started off with the previous speakers. Let's talk about. I want to get your thoughts about the theme for this conference: building the future, innovations, partnerships, and policies shaping real estate today. Can you share your thoughts with us about what you think about that? What do you foresee for the next maybe 5 to 10 years in the world of real estate, not just only in Nigeria, but in the world at large?
yeah, thank you, Chima. As they said, real estate has come to stay, and real estate now is the new oil and gas, whether we like it or not. It keeps evolving, and technology is like its big brother, dragging him and pushing him to become great. Um, Real estate, it's in Abuja. Let me use Abuja as a case study. People always say it's saturated. But to me, I don't think it's saturated. I always tell people that look at the sky and see how big it is. It's wide enough for every bird, every species of bird to fly without touching each other. So I won't say real estate is saturated. You can do yours, I can do mine. But and also I want you to know that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the extra effort you put in it. So being bringing about let me talk about bringing about digital transformation, the digital transformation in the global real estate as a whole. When we talk about digital transformation, it's just from you bringing all your analog document and then transforming it to digital in a digital format. whereby you talk about the technology, the use of AI, the use of all these internet per se, use of content in your marketing and all those things to make you on top of your game. And when we talk about real estate is so big, enormous, large. We have the from the land banking, selling of land flipping, house flipping, house rents, all these Airbnb service apartments, and also doing on building of all these luxury apartments, apart from the mass housing scheme from the government. So, if I'm talking about the prop tech, let me talk the property tech. When we talk about that one, we talk about you using what they call it, your AI in about trying to at least develop some things to make sure real estate is still on the spotlight. And doing that one now, I'll talk about some of the solution like the automated leasing, the rent connection, also the tenant onboarding, which some of the companies here in Abuja have started using what they call their own software to make sure, yeah, um they instead of you sending agents to go do this do that, they are already on top of that's in and what they call it, like this Airbnb. It's easy for you to generate what they call it code for the person to open and access the house using all these what they call it solar hybrid inverter and everything, whereby you can control your use of electricity power. You might be off grid or you can still be on the power grid, but you know you can easily with your smartphone control the use of your light and everything. These are things that the digitalization has brought about in real estate, as I said. And also the second one that I am so major into is the online marketing and the virtual transaction. You know, if you look at it now, I think we should all be grateful to COVID. You ask me why? COVID made everybody's eyes open to technology, whereby you can integrate technology into what you do. After COVID now, if you notice, some people still work from home. COVID bring about remote jobs. COVID bring about giving access to people to have access to internet facility, whereby use the what they call integrate content creation into your marketing. Before, you just see people, hello, I want to sell this property. This is it. Nothing like content to draw and catch people's attention. But nowadays, if you check online, maybe on Facebook or on Instagram, you see a lot of people, which I am particularly one of them. We go online and then we put some content, we give ourselves some names after you discovered your niche, and then push that to attract attention so that people can see what you want to sell. And then you know you must know what you're selling. Like Madam Duru said, you definitely must have a an in-depth knowledge of what you're selling. Because if you don't, when they ask you question, you start goofing. So that one is there. And also, when it comes to the virtual exchange on it, you must always be on top of your game. When you're selling on digitalization platform, you don't limit your target audience to the city where you are in alone. I believe you know, by the use of YouTube now, you can sell to diasporas. Use of Facebook also, you can sell to diasporas. Likewise, Instagram, when you create ads, set your target audience, set your location audience where you want the adverts to be published. When you do all those things, and then when it's time for them to pay, are you going to be transacting with them in naira? No. Some of them will tell you, please, can I transact in dollar or can I transact with crypto? These are things you should also know and have to put at the back of your mind that these are what comes about digitalization. In fact, if you transact in dollar or in crypto, you make more. Maybe you don't know, because when you're about to do the exchange rate to pay for it, you have a set funds. And the last one I want to talk, because of my time, I want to talk about is the use of AI. There are lots of AI from ChatGPT to DeepSeek and Sonia. There are lots of them. I believe a lot of people No, there's a saying that said, AI is the end of the world, is going to take and kill a lot of people's job. No, you need to understand when smartphone came in the millennia, people were saying, smartphone is here, or is being controlled by Antichrist, the world is going to end now, and this. But now, this is 25 years, 2 decades and a half. Where is it? How many people have died? We are still using the smartphone. It's still doing wonders. In fact, it has reduced a lot of analog stress. I remember then that if you don't have a phone directory or you cannot call someone, you will have to transport yourself like that far distance to go see the person. And then the only thing they do then is what they call it, snail mail. You have to write a letter and send. But now, internet, just type and send, and the person gets the message. Now, let's talk about AI. AI can help you just upload a picture of what you want. AI you help. AI now is affecting Google. It's killing a lot of people no longer use Google, especially ChatGPT. Just type what you want. It's going to create the content for you. If you want to put it on Instagram, it's going to tell you. If you want to put it on Facebook, it's going to tell you what to do. If it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to tell you what. If you want to make it like a presentation, it's going to tell you what to do. So people should at least try and embrace technology, learn, take some courses, learn about AI, depending on the one you know that is going to suit your work. Like me now, I do marketing, and I just got my license to be a developer here in Abuja. To God be the glory. I've been in the marketing sector for over a year plus now, and then we've gotten about 3 awards. To God be the glory, and then numerous sales. Like one is about to even click any moment from now. To God be the glory. All those things were from the new technology know-how that we have implemented. So with that, I'm trying to at least push people and beg them to endeavor to embrace, learn how to use. It breaks my heart. Sorry, I don't mean to throw shade. When I still see people sharing flyers on the road about real estate, that era has passed. Trust me, I just see those people standing on the road, sharing flyers in the sun, in the rain, like stressing themselves. Like, what's, can't you people just talk to your HR? Give me the flyer, just give me the soft copy. Let me learn. Go to Google, go to ChatGPT, do something for yourself, or redesign the flyer, create a content, watch people online that have done something, improvise and push yours online and see if you would not excel more than those people on the road. These are things that breaks my heart. Why is this still the olden day technique? How many sales have they done? It's alarming, and trust me, it's breaking my heart. So I'm just trying to I'm not throwing shade. I'm sorry if it's like shade, but I'm just trying to tell them to just try and improve, improvise, get these people, make them your independent marketer, teach them, give them tools they need to use. Facebook ads is there, Instagram ads is there, YouTube ad is there. Give them some courses, get people that they give these lectures. There's one particular teacher, like there's Dr. Malik. He teaches about YouTube on real estate, even free of charge. And the key into these things and learn. I was once a student from this man. I learned from him, and I'm still in communication with him. We learn every day. It's only the dead that cannot learn. You have to always start with learning, and then you up your game. So that's what I have to say about digital or digitalization. Juma.
I mean, I think you went straight ahead. You just like hitting the nail on the head the instant you started. Very amazing presentation, I must say. And oh, it's good to know that we have both been trained by Dr. Malik, because I also know Dr. Malik and I've been through his training for YouTube
Oh,
before.
really? That's
And
awesome.
yes. Great things you said, and I also feel very appalled when I see people flying or going around with flyers on the road at every traffic stop in Abuja. I'm always so pained because first off, it's not even the safest for them. And then they're wasting paper because there are so many more other ways. We live in a global village, and I think one of the speakers mentioned that as well. We live in a global village, so if you want your flyers to go farther than the people you see on the road, It should be online. You can run ads and do all of those things. So
Simple.
why are we starting on the road? It's funny, anyways. And I see where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that's because you probably had a reorientation or you've gone further ahead or advanced the need to. That's why you can say these things. Some people would disagree with you that they should just go digital. They want to do it the manual way because they can see and feel the people and have conversations, and then they feel it is real. It's funny. I think we'll get there some years from now, maybe in the next 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 50 years. But however slow, we'll probably still
50
get
years is a
to
long
we'll
time.
still,
Because to me,
we'll still
Choma,
get to the destination. Yes,
yeah, to me, when
I can
I
hear you.
see people giving flyers, I think they are just wasting the money. How much do they spend on printing when you can run an ad on Facebook as low as 1,650? Now, printing 2 or 3 copies of that flyer will cost you over 1,000 naira. I did my research. It will cost you over 1,000 naira. And then you will now give like 1,000, 2,000 to them. This money can run an ad for you for months. And the person that will be your client will not stress you. He will just DM you, I'm interested. So it's now left for you to have the ability to convince the person, why should I buy these products? And once the person is convinced with your lecture, your sugar coating and everything, easy peasy, deal sealed. Without stressing yourself, all you just need to have is a computer or a tab that has internet. The money you're wasting in printing those ads, those flyers, will cover for all those things. Definitely. The people you're giving, to me, the people that need these flyers are the people that I don't think they have access to smartphone that can buy data, or trust me, because everybody goes online nowadays to even know what is happening in the country. We're living in a, should I'm not going to say not secure, semi-secure country now, because nowhere is safe. So people need to know that, okay, this place, let me not apply this place. They put an embargo that nobody should apply that road. There's something happened at that place. There's insecurity. And this is how you have to go online, listen to news to get to know this thing. It's, do you know, people hardly buy newspaper nowadays. They read online. These are things that our fathers, our forefathers do. That when you see a bunch of those, we used to steal from it and go and use to collect Ugru and Ekpa. Trust me. But now, more, no more. We should please try and embrace technology. Let's make this thing work. Yeah, we might be having some challenges with internet. We might be having some challenges with our ISP. You are not having a good phone. This is why you should make friends in the industry. Connect yourself to a mentor. Connect yourself to people that you know that, yes, yeah, people say it's saturated, but to me, I don't think it is. What you need to do is communicate with the person. Oh, what did you do that make you unique? Learn from them. Don't start fighting or trying to bring a bridge or sort of competing with the person. Learn. We might not be grace mates, we might not be age mates in the industry, but when I see people, I always want to work with them. I always want to learn from them, because what is inside me is different from what is inside of you. I need to learn so that I can make mine come out to glow. Thank you, Johnny.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much for that
You're
addition. It was a very much needed addition. And I know that you do not have so much time to give us, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions before you have to leave. My next
Thank you.
question is very much around what you have just talked about, but I want you to buttress a little. During your presentation, you talked about certain skills that real estate practitioners or realtors should have, and I want to talk about the tech skills or digital skills particularly. You talked about going on a training with Dr. Malik and stuff like that. What are particular skills? Mrs. Sylvie or Miss Sylvie talked about self-confidence, persuasion, having the knowledge, being able to do your research, which is something I think is something that cuts across everybody. But I want to know about some tech skills because some people are actually curious to know what to learn, but they do not know what exactly. So for such people here on this call that want to know particular tech skills to learn, that will give them a very reasonable edge when it comes to real estate marketing and sales. What are some of them that you can share with them?
Thank you, Choma. I have a series that I did about this, but I'm going to chip in some. Yeah, Dr. Malik is a great mentor, a great teacher. We still talk. And in fact, I think he's still doing one series of, I create an AI for you. Although I missed the two classes because I had a very busy week, which I know I'm going to probably check them over the weekend. First and foremost, you starting up as a marketer, online marketer, a virtual marketer, face-to-face marketer, you want to go for pitching, your presentation matters. The way you present yourself is the way they will address you. Take that as number one. Two, even if you're not fluent in English, know when to talk and know when not to talk. You're going to meet a client. Hello, sir, be humble. Some of these people that you see on the road, they have the money. Some of them are arrogant and some of them are not. But you are after the money. You are after a successful deal to be closed. So these are the things I want you to please take note of. Now, you want to run a video, you want to do an advert. A, you don't have a good phone. Any smartphone can do a video. You can borrow someone's camera, but if you're using an iPhone or all these Samsung Galaxy that you know that the DPI and the resolution is good, go ahead, run this video, show it to a friend, let them see your mistakes and error, correct you. Do it again over and over. First, second, by the 10th time, you will get it. These are the things I did. I had to work on myself. Once you get it, and then you don't need to talk, 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 talk. Don't make it too boring. Do you understand? Don't make it too boring. Few talk after introducing yourself. Sometimes you don't need to introduce yourself when you are already known. Let them know. And have a problem with one that even one of my very good friend, Joel Amawi, always complain about. Hello, smart investor. Hello, smart investor. Are you stylishly saying the other people that want to invest are not smart? Why is hello, smart investor the norm everywhere? Hi, guys. Hello, my people. You can even do an advert, the intro in your dialects. You can do it in Pidgin, you can do it in Yoruba, you can do it in Hausa, you can do it in Igbo. This will sell. This will pierce their hearts. This will make them listen to you because they believe for you to leave English, the borrowed language, to your dialect, you know what you want to talk about. This has shown that, yeah, this person is a proud and bona fide citizen and an indigenous of such location or area or constituency or region he or she comes from. Learn to have a tweak, a change from the norms. The world is evolving. All these things are imminent. Real estate is something that, men, trust me, it can make you in a day and it can also break you. It can make you if you follow the steps, the guidelines. It can break you if you think one tree can make a forest. Let me explain that. It can make you in the sense that I said, check, read, learn from others, get a mentor, learn on how to do a video, know what to say, learn on what to talk about. Let your presentation be top notch. But when you don't do all this thing, you think you're different, you're unique, you're distinct. You will spend your time, you will spend your money, you will spend your mental health, you will spend your emotion, you will spend your physical self, and at the end of the day, you will break down. And once you start breaking down, you will lose that focus. That kindle fire that was meant to glow will die, and you will leave the industry. So the second one is, the last one. Let me put this as the last one is, when you are doing your videos and everything, don't forget to always make sure you have an in-depth knowledge. Do your due diligence. Know that, okay, this property is genuine. This property, there are some properties here in Abuja that you cannot sell, but some people want to sell. Let me give you a small story. God saved me as of October last year. A man approached me. He want to sell a plot of land very close to this Kuje roundabout. I was there yesterday. This is the place that new this dual carriage road is now passing. Had it been now, I didn't do my due diligence. I went ahead to do my content, my video, and I decided to post it online. And I got someone that find interest in it because it's a lucrative place, a strategic place because it's closer to the road. They probably wanted to use it for a fuel station. And now we can now say that place, you cannot use it. It's government property. Please, who are they going to first arrest? Me. Then before we now start looking for the person that sold land. What if the person that sold land as Japa? What will you do? You will look for that money. And you know, the highest or the greatest scam in Nigeria, in fact in Abuja, is land and property. We all heard what happened 2 months ago about someone that was selling with flyers, and these people could not do their due diligence before he got nabbed by EFCC. I felt really bad and sorry for those people that wasted their money, because trust me, those money cannot be recovered. This man might not have any property. He will just go to jail and come out, and that's all. So please, sorry for digressing, just to give you a small story. You should make sure all those things I said earlier are put in place if you want to excel. Thank you.
Is to make it memorable and to make it stick more. And for me, one of the important things you said is, for me, in fact, a summary of everything you said is understanding how to create your content. So in essence, it is more like content creation, knowing how to say your story. And again, storytelling, which is also very important, being able to present yourself and present your slides whenever necessary, as well as understanding the ins and outs of social media or digital platforms. Because if you want to go
Network. Oh. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Choma. Hello.
still be here.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
you're
can you hear
back.
me now?
Yes, you're back, actually.
Yes, sorry, I had an interference. Thank you very much. Yes, so towards the end of your speech just now, you talked about certain scams. And I know that that is something that has happened a lot in the world of real estate, and it's still happening and still has a potential, a propensity to happen in the future. So in terms of limiting such kinds of scams, especially when it comes to using digital tools, how can we do that? What should people know about managing risks associated with doing publicity online? What should they know so that they don't get into such things? And again, it's a two legs question. The second part of the question now is, there are certain challenges that comes with using digital platforms. So in real estate, how do you advise people to navigate those limitations or challenges? Maybe that's the reason why they're not using it enough. What do you think the problems are, and how do you think they should go about it? I want to believe you got my two-leg question.
Sure, I did. Your two questions are
Right.
kind of interwoven, but let me start with the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
very first one, I did a series also. It's even still on my Instagram handle. And was it 2 weeks ago? I was called at Wazobia FM here in Abuja when I spoke about things you should know. And I tagged it as, do not buy any property in Abuja unless you know or do this. Yeah, first and foremost, you want to buy property. You want to buy a land or you want to buy a house. First and foremost, due diligence is important. Due diligence in the sense that confirm the legitimacy of the land. Where do you go? Ages is for Abuja. Other states has their own where what they call it body that governs such property search and everything. Once you go to Ages, the one in Abuja is at area 11. You go there, verify. In fact, there are some boys outside. I won't advise you to ask those boys. Walk in, go to the reception and tell them you want to do this. They will take you in and do your search. They will give you the record from when the property was allocated. The very first buy, the secondary buy, the third buy, before you proceed. Second one, you should make sure you conduct your search via the lawyers or the courts to know if there's a court case on the land. Agents will tell you that, yeah, truly it's available, if truly it's verifiable. But you never can tell. Maybe the land has been sold to 2 or 3 people. It won't be recorded there, but they will have a copy of that. So make sure you get to court to do your verification and find out if it is. Then also, before you proceed to your building or survey plan, make sure the place is well chartered by consulting a chartered surveyor. Let them help you check that, okay, truly this place, yeah, it's 500 square meter, this is what is meant to build on it. Don't go and say, yeah, they ask you to build 500 4-bedroom duplex, you want to build 6-bedroom, and then you want to put a BQ behind. If the Jagabans of Abuja come, that building will go down. And who are the Jagabans? This is who we all know as development control. When they notice that there's an error with your property, the land might be genuine, but what you implanted on the land is not what is in the allocated plan. Trust me, the property will go down. Like I said earlier, there are some green areas, there are some recreational area, there are waterways, there are roads which are not meant to be sold. But computer work, people have gone to do the paper, talk to some guys to, and then they will want to sell it to you. But because you didn't do your verification, you decided to buy that property. Trust me. Do you know this song, Sopotilo? Your money has gone. That is just what I'm going to tell you. So when you do all that, trust me, and you've done your proper verification, you can contact a property lawyer. You can contact a good and registered realtor who has good record. That's why internet is there. You can do your profiling. And before you do that, make sure that in your profiling, verify the company's authenticity, like checking their CAC to know that, yeah, they are genuine. Do you understand? Know that, yeah, this is their track record. You have done this, they have done this, they have done that. Do you understand? Once you get all those things, you are good to go. But if there is a clause, you didn't see any testimony or anything, you can watch. Maybe it's an infant company or the person is just growing. Look at it, search for potentials, then you can probably patronize such person. But if not, don't let your money do Otilo. We are in perilous time. And to your second question, a lot of people fall victims. And when they come online and rant, they will not tell you the mistakes they made. They will only tell you they got burnt. Do you understand? These are things that they don't expose. They will just tell you, I was ripped in land banking. They told me this place is for land banking. I can't do anything for the next 10 years. I bought it. Now they said it has been recertified, and you did not do follow up. It's your fault. I cannot invest as low as 500,000 naira and I don't do follow up. Obviously, that means I didn't work for the money. That means I don't keep my record. I've got properties there in Abuja. I've got properties in Ibadan. I still call to know what is happening in that area. If you don't do that, you might forget. Do you understand? And if you forget, it's gone. And when you now got bonds, you come online and then you say this, other people that wants to invest, seeing that automatically has put a pause into their mindset. Instead of them to even be get scared, they won't want to do that. Do you understand? And when they see that these lands come in Nigeria, these lands come in Abuja, it's scary. Will I go into it? That is why we're always advising them, do your due diligence. There are still genuine people. There are still genuine land. In fact, internet is there for you to profile the person, profile the property you want to buy. All these things should help. That is if we follow the rules and regulation of the engagement, the rules and regulation of DT. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you very much. I think that was actually very, very extensive, and you've hit a number of things that I would have wanted us to talk about, which is great. So, I have a few more questions, but I'd like you to tell me how many more minutes you have to spare for us, because you said you probably have to leave at
3
12 or
minutes.
so. Fab, this is not fair.
It's not me. It's a
Fab, this is
working
not.
day. And today is Friday. Let me go and make my urgent 2K.
Right? Please make audience 2 million. It's not.
It's
Well,
needed though. It's the
anyways,
end
I
of the
think
month.
I'll just ask one more question, and then I would let you go, or ask one question, point five. So you talked about being able to keep your books or keep your records, which is also great. And I know that for finance professionals, there are different invoice tools online that they can use. There's QuickBooks and other ones. So is there available currently any tool online that helps you keep track of your real estate portfolio, where you can, maybe when you sell a land or you are in a conversation with a prospective seller and buyer or investor, you can keep records just understanding the entire digital landscape in the world of real estate. And also, aside from having a social media account and maybe having a website, what are other things that you see to a newbie real estate organization to do to help them advance or elevate their digital platforms, or to use digital platforms to transform their marketing and their sales?
Thank you, Choma. For me, the client is already calling.
That
For
is
me,
money. That is money. Okay, just quickly answer and respond to
yeah,
money.
for me, I use Google Doc and Google Excel. You know, I've got like 6 people that work with me. So I am the main originator, and I made them editor. So I added them into the platform whereby if I'm typing anything or editing anything, they see. And when they go for scouting, they give me updates via the Google Doc, because once I open it, I see everything they've done. And if there's a client that needs us to get him a property and then they give to us, they put the reports there for me to see. And if it requires me to finish the job, I see everything I need. So we use Google Doc and Google Excel. Other people use all these what do you call it, QuickBook, and there are other ones, but you know those ones are paid. This one is free. So you can, if you have a Google account, explore Google Doc. Just click on it, open the new link, type, and make. Will you see a button where you can click share? Put your colleague's email, a Gmail precisely, and share. Once the person clicks on it and you grant the person access, anything you type, it sees it automatically. And another thing a friend of mine does is they are using this iPhone of a thing. They shared this notepad. I don't know how he did it. I even don't want to know. So anything he types, they see it, they get notified, and it followed up with it. There are a lot of softwares like that people can also use, but to be safe. And I've been using Google Doc, Google Excel for the past 4 or 5 years for my other businesses, and it's helping me to keep records and keep track of everything I'm doing. So I will advise people to use that. And the second one, to the upcoming, the newbies, they are welcome. Like I always say, one tree can never make a forest, and the cloud is wide, enormous enough to take as many birds, different species to fly. But our advice, everybody is working so damn hard to make money. The success story starts when you close a deal. You will ignore all the pain that you've gone through when a client will call you. Let me tell you one small story. I always tell people that the clients that will be yours, that is going to close a deal, will not stress you. There was a woman like that wanted to buy a property, a terrace. Called me, I need a terrace, no more than 150 million. And I sent my people to go scouts. They gave me about 20. And I went to pick this woman. And that was the day fuel was increased from 535 to 8 something. I filled my tank. I didn't eat breakfast. I took this woman to the very first building. I don't like it. I was the one climbing. She stood. We're just doing the video recording. I don't like it. My sister doesn't like this. The first one, the second one, the third one. You know, the energy was there. I was like, yeah, this woman is serious. For her to like this and not like this. When we got to the fifth one, my body started telling me, okay, you never chop breakfast too, and this is 2 p.m. Your full tank don't reach half tank until we got to the 10th one. Oh, I love this one. You see, the hunger that was battling my belly disappeared. I was so joyous that, yeah, finally, we found one. At the end of the day, those people even gave her a discount of to pay 140 million. And then this one said, okay, I'll get back. Oh, yeah, go and do your search. I trust you. I went to all these areas to do the start. I carried all the printed documents, gave it to her. This woman said I'm not smart enough to do this business with her, that she was even thinking I will help her again and bring it to 100 million. I was speechless. She told me the story that how old are you? She gave me a story of my life, but guess what? I was just smiling. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. At the end of the day, this woman did not buy this property. I felt hot, but it didn't kill
But
my
you won't feel
morale. You said what?
so I won't feel heartbroken on your behalf.
Ah, no. What doesn't kill you? These are things, these are challenges that will break a lot of people, but I still didn't give up. And that very day, that's when I truly believe that words don't die. I was with my colleague, I was sharing, they were saying, let's go. The lady among us said, I'm a lady, I will insult her. I said, no. The clients that will screw you today might be the clients that will advertise you tomorrow. But one thing is for sure, I believe God for one thing, that I will sell a house before the end of this year. We've been selling land. That was the word. And guess what? We closed office December 22. December 28, I already gave up that. Maybe God will give me my house to sell in January. A client just called me out of the blues. Where are you? That house you showed me, I want to pay for it. I was wearing boxers and playing game in the house. I dashed into the bedroom. Before you know it, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., I got my own alerts. Deal was sealed, which means words don't die, and there's always a 24, the last minute miracle, 24 hours miracle that can still happen. I'm saying this to encourage people so that when the storm comes, don't get shaken. You will spend money on adverts. You will spend money if you don't have a car on transport. If you have a car on fuel, you will spend money in doing scouting because you need to get the information of the owner of the building. You have to spend and give all these boys that are in the area so that they can give you the person's data. You will spend money in getting leads from offices and all those things. You will spend money on ads. You will spend money on internet. You will also spend money on yourself, clothing, cleaning up, bathing up, looking presentable. Trust me, all these things, the reward is in front. Don't get shaken. The moment you say you are giving up, might be your break-even point, might be that the sale is almost done, and then because of what you said that I'm tired, not do again, and then that thing will disappear. Don't get weary. Don't get tired. Don't get lazy. Add more effort. When you notice that you're getting tired, look for people to inspire you. Look for people to at least give you that push. Work with people with the same niche that you have. Work with people with the same energy that you have. The energy you have in you, you cannot quantify it. Tinubu made us know that men, we Africans, especially we Nigerians, are stronger than what we think we are. Trust me, we are strong being. We are energetic, but it is when you activate it. And this present economy is already activating a lot of people for it. So please, my newbie is coming in. My advice to you again, work with someone with the same niche, learn from them. Don't be too lazy. Don't be too saying that, yeah, I'm too big for this. Age is just a number. Trust me, age is just a number. Your breakthrough is at the corner. Keep pushing, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you very much.
That's a very, very great place to end things here. I really appreciate I think this is very, very motivating and inspiring because storms and downtimes will always come, but in anything that you do, you have to just keep going regardless. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And before I let you go, I wanted to ask a question. You have been saying things about, oh, you put this out last week and stuff. I'm curious to know, do you have a YouTube channel or is it on your website or Instagram page that you put out content?
I have a YouTube channel running, but when you want to run any advert on YouTube, you need to use dollars. And sometimes it's always consuming. But when I started, I did the training with Dr. Malik. And trust me, I was able to break the record of getting over 1,000 subscribers within just a week, and I spent about $80 in trying to do the adverts. It's quite expensive, but I always run ads on Facebook and Instagram. The property I'm about to close the deal was put on my page, on my Instagram, and on my status yesterday morning, and the person saw it and loved it, and he's ready to pay. I believe he might have paid because what I went to give him is the account and the documents, which we both make call and he verified. So, and I've been building my Instagram followers organically. People said, buy, you can use it to buy. When people, I said, no, what's the point of me buying fake followers, bots? And then Instagram will now wipe them off. And when you have about 200, 300,000 followers, and when you post, you only see 2, 3 views or 4 likes, automatically people will know that you don't have genuine followers. I have 4,000 plus followers on my Instagram, and whenever I make any post without doing paid adverts, I always make sure I see like 500 to 600 views, which means my organic followers are closely watching what I do. And when I do paid adverts, it gives me followers. This is what gives me my clients, and it's giving me more leads. And when I do paid advert for like a week, I see like 8 to 10,000 views. So that's what I do mostly. And I always make sure I post a content, a property once a day or once in 2 days, so that it keep me on the spotlight, so that the algorithms of and the matrices of Instagram and Facebook will always make sure, even if I don't do paid advert, they keep me up, they keep pushing me up.
All right, great response. So that means we can follow you or check you out on
Yes,
Instagram.
please. Yes, please. Do you mind if I give my Instagram
Yes,
handle?
please share your handle. I think I already saw a question like that in the comment
Oh, okay.
section, that you share
Okay.
your social media accounts or handles with us. And I know you need to go, but then there's this question in the comment section by someone, and I don't know if you can spare a minute or two to respond to.
Oh,
The question
okay.
says, what's one mistake you see people in the industry, which I believe is the real estate industry, make over and over again? What mistakes do you see people in the industry make over and over again?
Yeah. Let me first advertise myself. Then I'll answer the question.
Please go
let,
ahead.
let me act like an Igbo man to my Igbo brothers. You're Igbo now, me, I'm Yoruba.
You're free. You can take our Igbo credits and do your thing.
Actually, I'm married to an Igbo woman, too. So you see, my wife is from Delta Igbo, actually. And so my Instagram handle is TDK_D_realtor. I repeat, TDK_D_realtor. Choma, you can help me by posting it on the comment section, because, I don't want the video to have a glitch. Let me call it again. TDK_D_realtor. Immediately you even type TDK, you will see me. Even verify that what they call it, that star verified logo by my name. Thank God. So the mistake.
Sorry to interrupt. You said _D_ what again?
_realtor.
Also realtor. Oh.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So the very first mistake that I see realtors do is allowing greed to take over. Greed is the number one enemy of all realtor, but some people dwell in it. Greed in the sense that you, as a realtor, you know that definitely this person is a potential client after when you guys have communicated. You will now want to put markup because you wanted to make more money. Now you put markup. The property is meant to go for 100 million. You try to say, oh, it's 120 million. Now your markup will pass. The owner won't know. You might be the one you want to defend, you might say it's a secondary buy. It will pass. But when the greed will haunt you is when you still go back to the clients and say, you never pay me my commission. You've collected markup. You've made more than the commission. Why going for the commission again? That is one. Two, when it's now time for you to have your sharing formula, that is when you now say, hey, this person was the one that gave me the connect. Another person gave him. Those people were not in the picture. before, but when the money is on ground, you are now bringing them in because you want to cheat the other guy, forgetting that this other guy that you want to cheat might be your destiny helper, your destiny elevator. But because you've done that to him, you now start living in penury. You will see that you're doing adverts, you're looking for clients, you're not seeing, you're not getting. Greed. That's one of the things I see. The second one I see is one, lack of consistency. A lot of people are not consistent. They say that they believe, let me just come, do advert, put room, I'm fine. I have shape, I have it, I have this, blood checked, I'll sell. No, real estate is not like that. Too. No, people need to see that you know what you are doing. I said something now on my Instagram, and if I post anything, I don't do paid adverts. I see over 400 to 500 views, which means people are watching what I am doing. If people are not watching you, trust me, you need to go and look for your niche. You haven't discovered yourself. And I'll advise what you should do to correct that is work with people that you know that they can build you up. They can input into you. They can help your kindled lights glow. We all have it in us. So that's what I will say. Let me just give that to you. Because I'm writing a book. Don't let me expose all my content here. Choma, you're setting me up.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But it's not good. It's not bad if we have a taste of the pudding before it is completely cooked, which I think we've gotten a taste of. Thank you very much, Prince Tun.
Adetunji. Yeah.
Yes. So I really appreciate your thoughts on this subject matter, and I would just like to say thank you very much. Really appreciate your patience, and I think consistency as well, because you mentioned consistency just a while ago, and I think it's a very,
Yes.
very critical trait in any sector in this time and age. So we've come to the end of your session, but I mean, like every other person, I just want to know, and I think I saw a question, the same question I was going to ask in the
Choma,
comment
you've
section.
taken 15 minutes again. You still want more.
There's so much I think I can get from you, and I know that it is going to be beneficial to everybody on this call, but this is going to be dependent on you as to how long you take in responding. I just want to know what you see and looking into the future, like your projections into the future, and what excites you the most about the industry, that's the real estate space or industry, in the next couple of years. Yeah, just very quickly, then you're
Real,
out. Thank you very
real
much.
estate growth is imminent. It has come to stay, whether we like it or not. Let me even bust you. Let me tell you this. There's an area in Kaura. It's called Prince and Princess. I know a lot of people in Abuja knows this place if they are
Yeah, I
online.
know you.
Prince and Princess originally, I think the estate is more than 20 years now. They were building three bedroom and two bedroom. It sold out the phase one. But now they have gone to redesign it. Now, people are breaking down the two bedroom, three bedroom, and then they are building duplexes, which is to let you know that development and growth cannot go backward, it's always forward. They grow every day. So if this building now is out of date, is outdated, a new structure will come. Okay, then do you know, as at 2010, 2012, the design for duplexes is different from what we are building now. Terraces then, people don't even build terraces then. But now, look at terraces. People are minimizing the plot of land and they are still living large, enjoying it. And it's still give a ventilation giving. It's not that yeah, it's compact or jam-packed like Lagos. People are still doing it. So when we talk about growth and development, and technology is here to, like I said from the beginning of my speech, technology is dragging real estate like his junior brother to the top. Whether we like it, 1 million years to come, if Jesus tarries and the world still remain, real estate will keep growing. It can't die. We must build, we must build, we must continue to build. So looking at Abuja, Wike said something, was it our FCT said something, was it on Monday or Tuesday, when they were talking about demolishing the all those slums? He said very soon from Guadalajara to town, in the next 2 to 3 years, if he is being opportune to still be the FCT minister, is going to change. It's going to be like Dubai. It's going to be like a center of attraction. Wiki is like an angel sent to open people's eyes into real estate. He has opened a lot of people's eyes to focus on real estate because of these roads that he's doing, the good road network he's doing, and also putting fire in the ass of these developers instead of keeping the inside town allocated land for land banking down to build. He gave them an ultimatum of 2 years. If you don't, they will revoke it. Now, a lot of people are building. In fact, if they don't have the funds, they are joining some people. Joint venture is there. They build and they are selling, and people are buying. So that's it. When it comes to development, digitalization development is pulling them up. The digitalization is pulling development up. That's in fact they are using jet speed, not trekking. So in the next 5-10 years, trust me, I haven't seen any business, any lucrative business, even crypto, oil and gas cannot beat real estate again. Thank you, Choma.
I like the confidence with which you said that. Thank you
Yes, of
very,
course.
very much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much for your time and your knowledge. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure that a lot of people have learned a lot about real estate, whether people are already playing in the space or people that are starting to enter the space. They must have learned a thing or two from this conversation today. And we totally hope that your business continues to thrive and
Amen.
you get to give me money. And you continue to make more impact in the
Yes.
world, as it were. Yes, we
Mm.
truly appreciate, and it's my hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and the
Thank you.
weekend. We look forward to having further engagements with you. Just like I
Thank
said to
you.
the previous speakers, we are also putting together a masterclass or a more
Okay.
close knitted session. So we would like to bring you on because we've learned a little bit from this free one. So I know that there is so much more to learn if we have a paid and close knitted session. So please, you'd be expecting some level of correspondence from us with regards to that. We look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so
I'll be
much.
honored.
And yes, so much love to your family, and have a great day and weekend ahead.
You
Thank you
too.
very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for the privilege to
All
talk.
right.
I really appreciate it. Do have a
We
great
really
day.
appreciate it.
Bye bye.
We do not
I'll
take it
just be
for granted.
listening, so I won't be missing out. I'll just be listening to any other.
All right, then we are going to round up right now,
Oh,
even.
all
Thank
right.
you so much. I mean,
You're
ladies and
welcome.
gentlemen, you'd agree with me that we had a great session from the 3 different speakers from from different parts of real estate. We've been able to learn a whole lot. So this has been very holistic, and we hope that you are also around tomorrow. At least tomorrow is Saturday. It's not a working day, so we are hoping that you are around, and it's going to be a little more robust because we would not have this rush because most of the speakers had to handle one thing or the other because today is obviously a work day, and in fact it's a half day, so they need to attend to things as quick as possible. Again, you also know that this event or this virtual conference was powered by Itele Media. So I'm just going to say that Itele Media is your one-stop shop for everything media, broadcasting, and in fact, just content, basically. So if you have anything that has to do with media coverage, that has to do with everything media, literally, if you have a wedding, if you have a documentary you want to work on, you want to have a brand publicity video, anything media, Itele Media is the one place for you. We also have our in-house TV programs. It's an online TV as well. So we also have our in-house TV programs where we get to have conversations with people with regards to business, technology, different things, politics, governance, and all of that. So we would like to have you as guests. We would like to have conversations with you if you have anything to share with us. And with that, we are gradually coming to the end of today's session. I'm just going to call on a member of the top management here at Telemedia, who is going to give us a concise closing remark, and then we'll call it a day for today. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right, HR Mambusola, please give us the closing remark for today.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this exciting first day of event. My name is Busola Atinshola, and I want to say that we've had like an inspiring start filled with insightful sessions and engaging conversations that have shaping the future of building and development in Nigeria. We want to say thank you all for joining us on this Thursday. Wrap up, carry this energy and knowledge and reflections into tomorrow, and we would hope to see you tomorrow as well. And let's remember that the future is not something that we wait for, we actually build together. So stay bright and early, and we hope to have you join us tomorrow. Thank you.